Mike Patrick, and it's great to have you with us for the Giants and the Patriots on ESPN.
Throwing it back to the old times, the good times. The first time we settled it on the 50-yard line. Hey, 200, how'd you get here so fast? How many times did we pump our fists? How often did we hold our heads and cry? How many high fives did we throw at one another? How many nights did we make history?
Anderson, what a huge night.
On the frozen tundra, by the bay, a mile high, within the greatest forum of all time.
Everybody watching tonight! Everybody watching tonight!
Watched in awe.
Oh my gosh! This is a moment they will never forget.
Thursday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. Stars have risen right before our eyes. 200 games, 17 seasons, one unforgettable moment after another.
Tonight, we return to the Meadowlands, where it all began for our 200th telecast between the New England Patriots and the New York Jets. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick. It's great to have you with us for number 200. And during the night, we'll be sharing some of the moments we've enjoyed so much during the first 199. This is certainly a big night for the New England Patriots. They have won a franchise record 10 in a row, but they may have to win 2 more to get home field advantage throughout the playoffs. They are certainly the hottest team in the NFL, and under Bill Belichick, perhaps the best prepared. Herman Edwards lit a fire under his team last week, and it worked. The question is, can they do it again? And Joe, if they're going to win tonight, Chad Pennington is going to have to beat a great defense.
Well, Michael, we get a chance to see 2 of the hottest young quarterbacks in football. Of course, Chad Pennington being one of them. Now, Chad Pennington didn't play against the Pats the first time. What he did, but a year ago, he threw for 285 yards and 3 touchdowns against this New England football team. Look for him to be aggressive tonight and put the ball up. As far as the Pats go, when you think about it, everything is defense, defense, defense. Well, New England doesn't run the football very well. That's where Tom Brady comes in. Here's a guy that's made big plays everywhere, on the road, constantly bringing his team back. 14 of his 17 touchdown passes have come on the road. I think it's a great matchup between 2 young guys tonight, Mike.
Thank you, Joe. We do have some great matchups tonight, but take a tip from Paul McGuire and keep your eye on the trenches.
Well, we're going to go into the pit tonight with All-Pro center Kevin Mawae of the Jets and the biggest nose tackle in professional football, New England's Ted Washington. Ted Washington weighs at least a pound for every day of the year. And what makes this matchup so intriguing is when they met the first time this year, Ted Washington accused Kevin Mawae of breaking his leg deliberately, and he missed 6 games. Tonight, the war continues, and Kevin Mawae is wired.
Let's go beat these guys, man. I can't wait to beat these guys. We're on national TV, baby. You go out there and show what we got. Let's go. Jets on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back to the Meadowlands for the New England Patriots and the New York Jets. Visa presents ESPN SkyCam, innovative technology on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Visa SkyCam provides some of the most unique and memorable images ever seen from angles no other single camera in the world can achieve. We're excited to bring it to you on all of our NFL telecasts. At 2-12, this has been a magical season for New England. And Susie, some people are starting to feel this is a team of destiny.
Oh, but Mike, they sure weren't saying that in early September. Yes, the Patriots have the beat on that #1 seed in the AFC, but their road to the top has been nothing less than remarkable.
The opener was a blowout, and
and perhaps a blessing in disguise. Longtime leader, now expatriate Lawyer Milloy helped deliver a butt-kicking and a wake-up call for the season. An avalanche of injuries would follow. 6 starters lost in 3 games. Prize free agent linebacker Roosevelt Colvin knocked out for the year in Week 2. Key starters at wide receiver, fullback, linebacker, and another key acquisition, defensive tackle Ted Washington, were all lost. Quarterback Ty Law, the only returning starter in a secondary revamp with 2 rookies, would play only sparingly on a chronic ankle. The battle cry, just make it to the bye week. But they surprised even themselves. A loss at Washington would be New England's last. That was September. Since then, the Pats have survived every challenge. On the road, in a game Tom Brady called their turning point, they beat Miami in overtime. At Mile High, they rallied from behind. At Indy, it was the goal line stand. Defense one week, offense the next. If Brady wasn't beating them with a big play, then Rodney Harrison was making them pay. At home, they've dominated. A shutout of the Cowboys, another in the snow. And last week, a franchise record 12th win. Now they'll play for coveted home field, despite starting 42 different players. They're a fantasy football nightmare. The lack of Pro Bowl selections are proof of that. Bottom line, they've all bought into Bill Belichick's game plan. Play as a team. Kickoff next.
ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Welcome back to the Meadowlands, a special night for ESPN, our 200th telecast with the Patriots and the Jets. The Jets will receive to start this game Bill Belichick, trying to get to number 13 on the year and win his 11th in a row in a bid to get home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Herman Edwards has a different agenda. He wants to finish strong. This is the first year he has not been in the playoffs. Lamont Jordan from the 7. And the Maryland graduate up near the 28-yard line. For the Jets offense, Kevin Mawai has been their best lineman for a long time. This year will be his 5th straight Pro Bowl. Santana Moss has become New York's premier receiver, approaching his first 1,000-yard season and has scored 10 touchdowns. Chad Pennington missed 7 games with a broken wrist. He's played well since coming back with a quarterback rating that is 6th in the NFL. Soule and Curtis Martin in the backfield in the eye behind Pennington. Martin coming off the 3rd best day of his career a week ago. Out in the flat to Soule, and Soule knocked out of bounds near the 40. The Pats defense has been terrific. Richard Seymour, voted to his 2nd straight Pro Bowl, has done it all. 74 tackles, 7.5 sacks. Teddy Bruschi has made big plays all year. 119 stops and 2 interceptions, both returned for touchdowns. Ty Law going to his 4th Pro Bowl, playing with a bad ankle all year. He has 5 interceptions, giving him 34 for his brilliant career. Pennington to throw his 2nd straight. This one's intercepted by Bruschi. And that is the first time in 5 interceptions he's not returned it for a touchdown.
Yeah, I'd almost expected he was going to break the tackle and head on in. That's all he's done.
You watch Teddy Bruschi's eyes. He's looking at Chad Pennington. That's who he's reading the whole time. And he goes up. You talk about perfect timing. He's in the middle of the field. Look at this. He watches Pennington. He jumps up. He's only about 6 yards away from Pennington when he threw the ball, but he was just trying to get a little dump pass over the middle.
Reminded you so much of the interception against Miami last week when he picked it off of a Jay Fiedler and ran it in.
Bruschi, one of those versatile veteran players used so well by Bill Belichick and Romeo Crennel on defense. Antoine Smith is the running back as the Patriots start from the 35, and Brady wants to throw on 1st down. Wide open, Gibbons, touchdown! How do you do? First play, 35 yards, 6-0.
Well, that's got to be a blown coverage. You see the move up the field. I mean, now they think they're in double zone. Aaron Beasley lets him go. The safety doesn't get over. That's Tyrone Carter. He's absolutely nowhere to be found.
And a perfect throw for Brady, his 18th touchdown pass of a shortened season. And now Vinatieri for the point after. One play, one touchdown, not a bad ratio. Set up by the interception by Teddy Bruschi. 7-0 New England.
Chris Carter, Minnesota Vikings, 1,000th career reception.
Chris Carter had so many tough moments when he first came into the league. He became one of the NFL's good guys and a Hall of Famer.
Number 2 behind Jerry Rice. I remember sitting with him that night before that meeting before, and he was thinking about just how important a night that would be.
Lamont Jordan, this time from the 9. Nowhere to go, taken down at the 16-yard line. Excellent coverage. Tully Banta-Cain, the first man down on special teams.
Tyrone Carter, there he is right there. He winds up in the middle. That's Daniel Graham releasing here, and you see Givens go up. He decides to stay here, and you'll see Tom Brady after a little play action fake. He really has Graham or Givens up the side. Carter bites inside. It's a gimme. It's the perfect scenario you want for cover 2. Put pressure on that deep safety and let him tell you where you go with the ball.
Now how can the Jets respond from that quick strike? They'll start from their 17. Play action by Pennington. Goes to Anthony Beck, the tight end. And Beck knocked out of bounds at the 31-yard line.
Chad Pennington really just getting himself set back into this offense. When I talked to Paul Hackett, the offensive coordinator, you got to remember, they spend the entire offseason getting Chad Pennington ready to start. This is the second year in a row he hasn't started a season. Both years it's been Vinny Testaverde. He still needs to play a lot more football, but he's so efficient and so bright, and Paul has to continue to challenge him with plays.
Curtis Martin finally gets his hands on it. Cuts it to the outside. Curtis Martin knocked out of bounds at the 40. 9 straight years to start his career. Curtis Martin has gained over 1,000 yards. He does not like to talk about himself or his numbers, but he talks about this one, Paul.
Well, look at this, and he just stiff arms Willie McGinnis. That's what's impressive. Curtis Martin, you know, they kind of wrote him off at the beginning of the year, said, you know, maybe he's over the hill. Yeah.
Well, maybe they didn't give him the football.
That's what happened. They didn't give him the ball. This guy's a great, great runner.
Gain of 8 for Martin. 2nd and 2 for the Jets. Nice fake by Pennington. Nearly sacked, then dumps it off to Beck again. He fights for first down yardage and has
it. It takes a lot. I can tell you from a quarterback's perspective, it takes a lot to be able to fake the ball and just stand there with your back to the line of scrimmage, trusting that the fake was good enough. See, he has no idea Bobby Hamilton's coming from the right. Now he gets his head around, makes the move, gets away, and still knows where the outlet is.
When you turn, it gives you a little rush, doesn't it?
Well, yes, it gets a little exciting when people are in your face.
Now back to the I formation. Draw to Martin. Martin to the 48. Let's check in with Susan.
Well, Mike, as you said, he usually doesn't like to talk about individual goals, Curtis Martin, of course. But last week, on top of a win, Martin made history. Just the second back ever to run for 1,000 yards in each of his first 9 seasons. The only other back to do it, Barry Sanders. That's what excites him about it, makes him appreciate it so much more. He says, in a drastic way of describing it, it's something only 2 people in the world have ever done. And to him, that's a wow.
Boy, what a class act he has been throughout his entire career. Martin again, nice hole off the right side, and Curtis Martin pounds his way to the 45 of New England, where Rodney Harrison stopped him.
You know what's really neat about him, the way he runs, though? He runs with his head up, and he gets his body square. Now watch him going through the hole. Look at his eyes. He sees there's nothing out there, so now I have to come back in. He's square with the line of scrimmage when he hits. And I'll tell you what, Rodney Harrison ain't bringing him down by himself.
He is number 11 all-time in rushing in the NFL. A 1,000-yard season next year. He'll crack the top 6. Pennington dropped by Soule. And Soule is a guy they have made tremendous use of this year. Before this season, his career high in receptions was 10. He's already caught 41 balls this year.
But he's run the ball once.
That's right.
He's had 1 carry. And that's the problem if you throw play action on 1st and 10. What you're really counting on is a good, gimme, easy throw to the back, and you're looking for 3 or 4 yards to get you into 2nd down and 6. This is not a defense you want to wind up 3rd and long against.
Pennington.
Willie McGinnis. Willie McGinnis in the last month of this season has played as good a football as any defensive player I have seen for the Patriots.
And in the last couple of years, he was the forgotten man.
They were thinking about trying to do something else with him. There you saw him standing up, but look at him go right through Zott, right through Martin, comes up to try and swat the pass, and then makes the sack. I mean, Willie McGinnis has just played outstanding football. Every game I watch on Sundays, Willie McGinnis is making a play.
And unfortunately for Willie, that is not a sack because they credit Pennington with a run of 1 yard. 3rd and long, showing blitz. Here they come. Lockett on the outside. He knew exactly where the sticks were and fought to get the extra yards.
Well, Asante Samuel, number 22, is the defensive back. And when you've got a guy that catches the ball and then he goes down, you've got to get him in front of you. Watch the move out here on the outside. Here's the catch. Now he goes down. But watch Asante Samuel, number 22. He doesn't get himself ready to make the play.
Asante's a 4th-round pick out of Central Florida, one of the rookies that have had to start in that New England secondary.
Jets moving the ball well. They have reached the Patriots 33. Curtis Martin behind Soule. Room to run off the left side. Now he tries to take it outside. Met by Mike Vrabel and a host of others, including Tyrone Poole and Rodney Harrison.
Having a chance to visit with Curtis Martin, I mean, he just tells you so many things. For example, he said when you play the New England Patriots, they give you so many different looks on the defensive side of the ball. It basically becomes a fundamental game. You have to really go back to the fundamentals you learned in training camp, identify who the blitzers are going to be, and then plant the blocks. We saw McGinnis break through him on one time tonight.
This is the 10th play of the drive. Pennington with time. Completes it to Moss, and Moss rolls for the 1st down to the New England 21-yard line.
Now this is this new field turf out here. Remember the Giant Stadium? Things were so ugly and so bad.
You know, we talk about Curtis Martin running with the ball. Watch him block on Teddy Bruschi, number 54. He's in the backfield. He just knocks him out of the hole and gives Pennington a chance to throw the ball for the 1st down.
Santana Moss coming in, having a great year with, of course, the loss of Lavernius Coles to the Redskins.
Pennington, the quick out. This one's complete to Conway for a couple.
Santana Moss, it was, when you talk, every 3rd year, he said it's been great for him. 3rd year in Pop Warner, 3rd year in high school, 3rd year in college, and now his 3rd year in the National Football League. You see all the numbers are career highs, 10 touchdowns, and he is an alternate. He's the first alternate to the Pro Bowl this year as well.
P.J. Askew checks in as a blocking back behind Pennington. Martin, with that Jets offensive line, is doing a nice job blocking against one of the best defenses in football. Washington in on that tackle.
Yeah, but I wouldn't like to make a living trying to run the ball up against Ted Washington. He weighs 365 pounds. He's number 92. He's taking on Mawai, the center. He stands him straight up, and look at him slide down the line of scrimmage, number 92 Washington, and make the play.
A pound for every day in the
He
year.
weighs at least a pound for every day in the year. He weighs 365.
How about if it's a leap year?
He'll gain it for you or lose it.
Pennington rolls to the near side and throws complete to the 10-yard line.
What a catch.
That'll be another first down, and Curtis Conway went down in front of Ty Law and plucked it off the grass.
What a catch. You'll see he never ever gets a chance to get this ball to his body. Reaches out and keeps it above. Look at that. Keeps it above the ground and then brings it in before he slides out of bounds.
Let me applaud that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was pretty. Chad Pennington has been almost perfect on this drive, and what a response to that quick hit.
But you'll notice one thing. He has not thrown the ball in the middle of the football field. Everything has been outside the hash into the numbers.
First and goal. Pennington under a blitz. And back to his safety valve, will lose a couple. Rodney Harrison really drilled him. And Willie McGinnis may get the personal foul for roughing the passer.
They will, and he will. And this was just a sensational play by Rodney Harrison, who came up and made the tackle. But then you make the mistake of hitting the quarterback. Look at this. Oh, he pushes him in the face. That's what they got him for. He put his hands in Pennington's face and hit his helmet.
Now the officials huddle at the 10 to talk about it.
Personal foul, rubbing the passer, 55, defense, hit the quarterback in the head, half the distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
Hit him in the head.
In the head, too.
In the head.
There he comes in. You'll see him. Willie's coming from the left side. That's smack right there. I mean, the ref's standing, the umpire, a referee standing right behind him. It's a perfect view. I'm impressed with the discipline, though. They've run a lot of bootlegs, the Jets have, and the discipline of the defensive ends of the New England Patriots.
Moss is the man in motion. Martin breaks the tackle. Curtis Martin. He is down inside the 1. The ball came loose after Martin was down.
This is all Curtis Martin, Michael.
Isn't he special?
Well, it was all jammed up at the 4-yard line. He had no place to go. And watch him back out. Well, this is the end of the play where his knee is down, his arm is down, he's down, and the ball comes out. Here he's going down here. When you see this ball coming out, he's down.
But keep in mind, Chad Pennington has 26 touchdown passes and no interceptions in the red zone.
Martin. No signal yet.
Man, they stood him up in the hole, and then he made a spin move. Curtis Martin gets whacked right at the 1-yard line. Bang, right there. Now, look at the ball. Is the ball over? He's going to make a turn. Here it comes. He's at the goal line.
You can't tell.
You can't tell anything there.
You cannot tell.
That's a helmet you're seeing. That's not the ball.
3rd and goal, an inch away. Tight formation. Martin. No, Pennington on the fake. He'll walk in.
What a play-action faker.
Boy, that was pretty.
He's masterful. Boy, and Herm loves it. What a terrific job by Chad Pennington. He answers the interception by taking him on that long drive. Look at the fake. Terrific job by the line and Curtis Martin. Now he can throw it anywhere he wants. There's the hole. If you got to throw it at the play clock, and he missed it. It's the only thing he missed.
16 plays, 9 minutes and 20 seconds off the clock, and they went 83 yards. The point after ties it at 7. Chad Pennington masterful on that drive, and the Jets are right back in it at the Meadowlands.
This ESPN NFL special brought to you by Microsoft. Your potential, our passion. And Toyota. Get the feeling.
Beautiful night in New York City for game number 200 for ESPN, and it's been a good one so far. An 83-yard drive, 9 minutes and 20 seconds. Chad Pennington, terrific on that drive. And sometimes we say time of possession doesn't mean anything. New York's had the ball for 10 minutes. New England's had it for 8 seconds, and we're tied at 7.
Well, it means something if you're the New York Jets, because it means that Tom Brady's not been on the field.
Well, there were 8 first downs in that drive. Look at
Romeo Crennel, you see the defensive coordinator, not happy with Willie McGinnis about the late hit.
That was a 3rd down play that he hit him in the head. It gives him a 1st down.
Bethel Johnson is deep to receive. He's been very good this year. Inactive a week ago. The rumor was they didn't like his game preparation and simply didn't put him in. He's got great speed, though, and a nice return there across the 40 to about the 43-yard line. Excellent field position for the New England Patriots when we come back to the Meadowlands.
(1998) Derek Thomas, Kansas City Chiefs.
Jeff George never had a chance. 6 sacks and a safety. And Paul, that was only one short of the NFL record. The irony is you were there for the other one.
Yeah, I was with NBC at the time when it was against Seattle in Kansas City when he had 7 sacks, and the guy actually had his hands on the quarterback 2 other times. He should have had 9.
It was so spectacular coming off the corner. New England has had 1 play from scrimmage and 1 touchdown. Antoine Smith pounds it across midfield. If you just joined us, it was a quick start for the Patriots. Teddy Bruschi with the early interception on the first possession of the game. And then Tom Brady made the Jets pay with a bomb to David Givens, 7-0. But Chad Pennington engineered a marvelous drive and has tied the score at 7. Larry Centers recently re-signed as the fullback. He's the brilliant receiver. Smith on the toss. And Antoine Smith across the 40. The Pats offensive line has had to adjust because of injury. Pro Bowl center Damian Woody moved to guard. He's been very good there. Troy Brown's numbers are down after missing 6 games with a bad leg, but after 2 remarkable years, he is still the go-to receiver. Tom Brady's stats don't leap off the page, but his record does. 32-12 as a starter. More than a third of those wins have been in comebacks. Brady with time. And incomplete, in and out of the hands of Deion Branch. Ray Mickens had the coverage. The Jets defense has had a breakout year from Sean Ellis. He needs only 3 more tackles for 100 and a 6th in the NFL with 11.5 sacks. Marvin Jones may have lost a step in his 11th season, but still has a nose for the ball. 130 stops this year. And Aaron Beasley, a very aggressive corner against the run, has a third of the team's anemic 9 interceptions this season. Brady under pressure. Hit as he throws, and incomplete. Daniel Graham couldn't hold it.
That's a good job by Jason Ferguson, the defensive tackle of the Jets. This offensive line of the Patriots is pretty tough as well. We talked about what the job the Jets did. You'll see number 72 line up and watch him just push the guards back. There comes the big guy, 63. Now there comes the finishing product, the big guy. Make the quarterback step up inside. That was Dwayne Robertson, the young rookie out of Kentucky, forcing him up inside.
Brady sacked 5 times the first time these teams played, but the Jets so much better in the first half of the year, sacking the quarterback than the second half. 3rd and 10. Brady fakes the screen one way, tries to go back the other, and then launches one, and it'll be out of bounds.
Boy, a lot of guys are slipping around. It's a cool night, and I think the field may have gotten just a little warm and then all of a sudden iced up because they just can't keep their feet. There's a lot of play action. There's a fake screen here. There's a fake screen there. You see Deion Branch now. He's going to hang out close to the sideline. Tom Brady can't get anything on the ball, and Tyrone Carter comes over and just whacks him.
Ken Walter, who was cut and then re-signed, sky high. Moss with a fair catch. 26-yard punt, but perfectly placed. 3:05 to go first quarter. It is 7-7, Pats and the Jets.
1991, Herschel Walker, Minnesota Vikings.
One man to beat.
71-yard touchdown run.
Touchdown, Herschel Walker. 71 yards.
It's the longest run in Minnesota Viking history, which, by the way, Vikings had a great day today. Also, the Vikes gave up 7 picks. Really started the Cowboys off on a great foundation of championship runs with all those picks they gave up for that one man.
Jets start from the 13. Pennington never had a chance. He was drilled from behind by Vrabel.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Mike Vrabel has had a tremendous year, and this guy's picked it up on the other side. You got McGinnis on one side, 55, and Vrabel, number 50, on the other side, and nobody just touched him. Look at Vrabel. They go out and pick up a back, and why you would do that as an offensive lineman, I don't know.
Jason Fabini turns out on Tyrone Poole. I'd always thought you'd take the bigger guy, wouldn't you?
Take the, you know, the one that's got the rounder one.
If I'm the quarterback, you tell him to take the big one.
A loss of 7. Now they'll go to Martin. And he's shy of the 10. Let's go to Susie.
Mike, we know that Herman Edwards is the master at the motivational speech. So I asked him before the game what he told his team last night. He said, this game is all about the matchup. Our quarterback against their quarterback, our linebacker against their linebacker, and so on down the line. He said, we know that they won the division this year, but we won it last year, so we know we have the talent. Just go out, play better than your guy, and we'll win the game.
And Susie, last week, he really ripped him. He said, this is simply unacceptable.
Well, this is unacceptable. They can't be in 3rd and 14 against this team.
Pennington goes underneath for the short gain to Curtis Conway.
You know, Joe, this team, New England Patriots, we've been talking all year long. Everybody has about their defense and how solid they are. Yeah, they're going to give you a 6-yard pattern, and that's all you're going to get.
But you know what? That's all the time you're going to have to let somebody get down the field. That's a good decision by Chad Pennington getting rid of the football, and then you give your punter a little bit more of an opportunity. Now, the only thing here is you've got Dan Straczynski kicking into the wind. So look for the Pats to get good field position.
And he has the lowest gross and the lowest net average in football. This one, a line drive kick off the side of his foot. And Bethel Johnson into Jets territory at the 48. Check it, Troy Brown. Return of 6 after a punt of 37. Tom Brady and the Pats will have it when we come back.
'87. Joe Montana throws 4 touchdowns, 3 to Jerry Rice.
Could always count on that combination they went on, and that strike year to finish at 13-2. Jim Brown was our analyst that night.
Doesn't surprise you that Jerry Rice was on the highlight film, doesn't it?
Antoine Smith stopped just shy of the 45-yard line. Let's go to Susie.
Oh, Mike Patrick, this is your life. Our special guest for the night is Roy Firestone, who was your partner in the booth in year 1. But you also had those guest analysts. So what was the challenge of that?
Well, after 8 weeks of guest analysts, I needed an analyst. I think that's what the key thing was. It was changing every week. And at halftime, there's some stories that you have to hear about. They're unbelievable challenges because a lot of these guys had never been in a broadcast booth before. It was an experiment that had never been tried before, maybe never tried again.
Antoine Smith again fighting for extra yardage. Back to Susie and Roy.
Roy, what are some of the biggest names?
Well, one of the first things we were told is they were thinking of bringing George Carlin into the booth with us for the entire season. That was one experiment. Then they had an idea of having Dinah Shore and Don Rickles on together. Those were some names. Then we actually had some athletes, too.
We'll see you at halftime.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Roy, and thanks, Susie. End of the first quarter. Patriots and the Jets knotted at 7. Ready to start the second quarter from the Meadowlands, where the Patriots and the Jets are tied at 7. New England's ball at the Jets' 41. 3rd and 3. Empty backfield for Brady. Plenty of time, and Brady intended for Fourier, but he was well covered by Cowart.
Fourier wasn't even looking. Not only was he well covered, but that's one of those things where Tom Brady tried to look off, and then come back at the last minute and throw to a spot. But his tight end was still trying to get to the spot.
And Brady's got to understand his offensive line's blocking for him. They only went with a 4-man rush with the 4 down linemen. He's got to stay there longer.
Good job by Ted Cottrell, the defensive coordinator of the Jets.
Santana Moss with a great career average, and this year he is 8th in the NFL in returns. A line drive here, but he can't get to it. Has to let it go, and it rolls inside the 10. Today marks ESPN's 200th NFL telecast. What do you think was the greatest feat in an ESPN game? These are tough choices. Flipper Anderson with an NFL record. Jerry Rice, 16 catches in a game. Derek Thomas, 6 sacks in a game. Sean Alexander, 5 touchdowns in a half. And Peyton Manning this year, 6 passing touchdowns. Log on to ESPN.com, click NFL, and vote. We'll update you later.
I thought the Kevin Gilbride, Buddy Ryan heavyweight fight was a pretty good one, too. Or the Gus Frerotte, I want to be shorter by banging my head into a wall was a pretty good one. Well, we've had some shows.
We had to weed it down to the top 5. Jets start deep in their own territory again, and Pennington wants to throw. Goes out to Moss, and Moss taken out of bounds by Ty Law at the 12.
Santana Moss, I'm going to tell you, this guy is so quick. I mean, it's just amazing how fast this guy is. And you know the nice thing about him, Joe, when we talked to him yesterday, and here's Santana Moss, and look at Ty Law, he's giving him room. But Santana Moss said, one thing I'm learning, and what I'm trying to do to get better, I'm learning the other position. I only played Z, now I want to learn the X position on the other side and what everybody does.
He's had a great mentor in Wayne Corbett, who's on injured reserve, teaching him the fine arts of receiving.
Curtis Martin. Game tackle at 15 on that last grab. Santana Moss has established his first 1,000-yard season. There will be more to come. He was hurt his first year, only had a couple of grabs, 30 last year, and now he has become the featured guy.
Really got his chance to shine this year when Lavernius Coles moved on to the Washington Redskins. And Lavernius has really played with a fractured big toe, they think, all season. One tough receiver. He's another. Santana Moss has had the benefit to work with some really great guys in Lavernius Coles and Wayne Corbett.
Chris Baker checks in at the tight end spot. He's number 86. A man in motion. Pennington batted up in the air. McGinnis with the interception. Willie McGinnis, touchdown.
I'll tell you what, Willie McGinnis, you want to learn how to play defensive end. If you're not going to get to the passer, your first deal is to read the passer. Watch him. He's looking at Pennington. Now he goes up, tips the ball up in the air. Those are linebacker skills, my friend.
I've told you, Willie McGinnis, this is nothing. This is like an average night for Willie McGinnis. Pressure on the quarterback, sacks. Chad Pennington trying to get outside. Willie McGinnis, every time he's tried to throw a route on a post or inside, he's had 2 of them picked off. Every other pass he's thrown has been outside of the formations.
Bruschi intercepted the first one to set up a touchdown. McGinnis gets this one, and the point after makes it 14-0. Pennington came into this game with the best touchdown to interception ratio in the NFL. Thrown 2 picks tonight.
This ESPN NFL special brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Friendly nonstop service all across the country. Southwest Airlines, a symbol of freedom. And Sears. Don't just give a gift, give the good life. Sears, good life, great price.
Our aerial coverage tonight, courtesy of Casio G-Shock.
Okay.
For the Patriots defense, has either scored or set up the touchdowns. And J.P. Machado, an offensive lineman, gets the kickoff and a return to the few yards. Chad Pennington back to work in a moment.
1988, Lawrence Taylor, New York Giants, 3 sacks while playing with a torn shoulder ligament and a detached pectoral muscle.
Mike, that was about the 4th game that I did here at ESPN because I joined you that second year. Most unbelievable performance I've seen. Lawrence has had so many, but the injury was so severe, and he played so well in that game.
Literally did it with one arm. Curtis Martin pounds ahead for 5. Let's check in with Susan.
Mike, I know the secrets why the Patriots linebackers have had so much success with interceptions for touchdowns. It's a drill they do after practice on Fridays, called On the Line. Their linebacker coach, Pepper Johnson, stands 20 feet away and rifles the ball at him. High, low. If you drop it, you do push-ups. If you catch it, then he has to do push-ups. They're either considered first-rounders or seventh-rounders, but it sure is working.
Have you seen Pepper lately? He has not done a lot of push-ups.
Does one.
Pepper's a very big man. So that means the guys have caught a lot of balls. There's Pep, the great former New York Giant.
Who's going to call
coach.
him on it?
Nobody. I mean, he's the inside linebacker coach. And the thing is, almost all of their linebackers are former defensive ends.
Exactly.
And Bill Belichick and Romeo Crennel used a 3-4 style defense with 3 down linemen, but any of these guys can put their hands down and become the 4th, especially number 55, Willie McGinnis.
3rd and 3 for the Jets at their own 43. Down 14-7. Pennington, quick set. Martin bobbles and can't hold it. Ted Johnson was out there with him.
Ted Johnson was on excellent coverage on Curtis Martin. And, you know, we talked to Ted Johnson yesterday. He said, you know, I don't play every down. I come out. But every single person on this defense has their role. And we know what our role is. And nobody's a superstar.
Did you see that play? Willie McGinnis again putting pressure on Chad Pennington, coming in as a free runner.
Straczynski will punt to Troy Brown, who waits at his 17-yard line. Beauty. And Brown has to signal for a fair catch all the way back at his 8-yard line. A 48-yard punt by Dan Straczynski, who averages a shade above 37.
1994, Barry Sanders, Detroit Lions, 237 yards rushing.
Holy cow, what a run by Sanders! He saw the Tampa Bay Buccaneer uniforms and just lit them up. That year he had 1,883 yards rushing. What did he do when he got to the end zone? Handed the ball to the official and trotted back to the bench.
A novelty today in the game.
Antoine Smith on the toss. Heck of a run by the big guy. Barrels to the 39.
This is exactly what the Jets talked about. The Jets are giving up 148 yards a game rushing, and they said, we'll hold the guy to 6 yards, 3 yards, 2 yards, when all of a sudden somebody's going to break it on us.
You know why? Because look at the defense. They're all catching, and they're trying to arm tackle Antoine Smith, and you can't do that. This defense, you realize why people run against them. When you look at the linemen and the linebackers are catching the offensive players.
He runs right through 5'8", 190-pound Tyrone Carter, 22 the safety.
Smith again. We always talk about strength against strength. This is weakness against weakness. The Pats running game, the Jets run defense. You saw Barry Sanders a moment ago. On Sunday Night Football, he has the record, 1,001 rushing yards, and it seemed like he got them all against the Buccaneers.
Well, 237 of them on one night. But it wasn't just the yards, but it was the way he did it with those feet, the change of direction, the stops and starts.
I mean, he'd have a 3-yard loss, and it made the highlight reel. Kevin Falk is in it. He'll get the draw. The walk up to the 43.
You know, you look at the New England Patriots. Kevin Falk has 604 yards, Antoine Smith 447, and Mike Cloud 118 coming in. And Patrick Pastor, fullback, has 6 runs. Larry Center, 6 runs. Nobody, no 100-yard rushers. on this New England Patriot team. They truly do it by committee.
And that really makes the 12-2 record that much more remarkable.
Yeah, because they don't care. That's what Belichick said to us yesterday. And what's your point?
But
We're 12-2.
But they average 30 runs a game.
Brady with good protection and throws complete to Troy Brown at the 45. First down, New England.
Boy, I'll tell you, this is that offensive line just doing a great job. And then Troy Brown getting himself open. Number 80 is Troy Brown. Take a look at this. Here he is. Now, he sees it. Now, watch what happens for Brady. Here comes the offensive line. Look at the blocking. Now, there's actually a 4-man rush. They block. Brady just slides to the open, which is there, and makes the completion for the first down. That was easy.
That was his first completion since the touchdown pass. Ball stretches it out and cuts it back, gets to the 41-yard line.
Michael, just so the fans, as they watch this game, you'll notice our red line coming up. We're only using it on third down, and it becomes the line of scrimmage so that you get an idea to the yellow line what the offense has to make for the first down. So it tries to give our fans, and of course your fan, Paul, the perspective of how far they have to go. All of them.
That one of mine?
That's what it is. There it is. Now we have it on second down.
Oh,
a little bit of a twist.
Just ask for it, you get it, pal.
Brady sits in the pocket, intended for Deion Branch, but it was short.
Well, it was short because he got bumped. As he's getting ready to throw the ball, the pressure on the quarterback, they just knocked an offensive lineman back into him. He couldn't throw the football. Here's Brady standing back in the pocket. And here comes the pressure up the middle. And his own man knocks into him. And when he does that, he can't throw.
And Tom Brady's not going to move. I mean, he is a pocket passer. He'll slide. Reminds me a little bit of Dan Marino with his ability to work inside a pocket.
Wait a minute. Nobody slid like Marino.
Well, Brady does a pretty good job.
3rd and 6, 4-man rush. And they are not going to get the first down because Sam Cowart would not let Troy Brown go.
Boy, you talk about awareness. So this is an awareness of a linebacker, Sam Cowart. Troy Brown is coming across the middle. He does not pick up the first down. This is going to be 4th down.
And they'll go for it. If I'm Bill Belichick, I'm going for it.
Watch what Sam Cowart does here. He's coming across with Brown. He avoids the blocker. He's got Brown, and watch him pull him back. That is really awareness of where you're going to be.
It will be 4th and less than a yard for New England.
They're going to measure, I think, just to get you an idea. It's a good job by the bench and Coach Belichick of the New England Patriots. Find out exactly how far you have to go. Now, people might say, well, what the heck, if it's a foot here, a foot there, it could be a foot, it could be 2 feet. And it does make a difference for coaches when they want to make a decision whether to go or not. If I was him, I would go for it.
You would, huh?
Yes, I would. The Jets haven't really moved the ball against my team but once. My defense is playing okay. And ball's going to be on a 35-yard line. Still a longer field for him, so yeah.
And the Jets are 31st against the run.
Well, they were 32nd.
That was into last week.
4th and a yard, the Patriots will go from the Jets, 36.
Boy,
what an opportunity for play action. I can see your mind going crazy.
I start salivating when I get on this field position.
Antoine Smith, the single setback. Quarterback keeper Brady.
That was the other thing I was thinking.
Well, if you look at the lineup of the Jets, I mean, they just went with the regular lineup at the line of scrimmage. Brady had to go with a quarterback sneak.
If you just joined us, the quarterback comparison so far being won by Brady because Pennington has the 2 interceptions.
One of them for a touchdown, the other sets it up.
That was interesting talking to Pennington. He said, I haven't been on a losing team since my freshman year in high school.
Didn't like it then and doesn't like it now.
It is a first down for New England. Back to the eye with Antoine Smith. He'll get it on the toss. Tries to cut it back to the near side. really didn't have a chance because Matt Walters, the rookie from Miami, was there.
You don't want to run Antoine Smith this way. You don't want to toss to him and get him going left and right because he loses all of his power. See him going to his left. Now, by the time he turns to come back up, there's going to be someone in there to tackle him. You've got to run him if you're going to run him between the tackles and let him get full speed square.
Second and 12. Good protection. Little swing pass to Smith. Can't do anything with it, but well covered. Josh Evans, the defensive lineman, was out there. Hope you'll join us tomorrow night from Indianapolis. Could be the game of the year. The Broncos against the Colts. A lot on the line for both ball clubs. That will come your way at 8:30 Eastern. And is there anybody hotter than Peyton Manning? He is absolutely on fire. He will be going to his 4th Pro Bowl. #1 in completion percentage, #1 in yards, #1 in touchdowns.
He's going to go over 4,000 yards tomorrow night, pal.
Last year, Mike Vanderjagt wound up kicking a field goal to win it for him.
Brady with all the time in the world to the tight end Graham. Graham brought down by Cowart at the 35, and now they're close enough for a field goal try if they choose to.
Well, they're going to be kicking this baby into the wind, and they're not going to field goal this. Now they have a new snapper, and I guarantee you the Jets are going to come right up the middle after the punter.
Well, the other thing too is Pennington hasn't tried to throw the ball down the field. They've all been short crossing routes, out routes. So if you give him a long field, what are the chances of him moving?
Would have been a 53-yard try into the wind. This punt hung up in the wind. And takes a good New England bounce down to the 5-yard line. A 30-yard punt, again perfectly placed. The Jets, down by a touchdown, will start deep in their own end again.
Michael! 2003. The return of Michael Vick.
What a fake, and Michael Vick scored!
Only a couple of weeks ago, he actually gave Dan Reeves a victory in what turned out to be his final game as a head coach, and we're going to see him for a long, long time.
Dan Reeves, 200, I believe it was his 200th win.
No, I think he had the 200th before.
201 now. I can do math.
I know it was the last one. Pennington back to throw. Martin on a swing. Curtis Martin across the 10 out of bounds at the 11. Coming into this game, there were issues in the paper between Pro Bowl center Kevin Mawae and defensive lineman Ted Washington, who had his leg broken on a block by Mawae several weeks ago. He said he thought it was on purpose. And we've got Kevin Mawae wired for sound, and you'll hear a confrontation between them in just a moment. I think you'll find it very interesting. Second and 3. The Jets have started mainly inside their own 20-yard line. Pennington throws, and that one is complete to Conway. No, incomplete. Said he trapped it. Now let's go back to Kevin Mawae, wired and talking to Ted Washington.
Hey, just so you know, I didn't do that intentionally on you. Now you believe what you want, but...
Boy, don't you like to see that?
Class act. Kevin Mawae, a Pro Bowler, one of the best centers, really, I think, in football. Well, he is, obviously, but been that way for a long time. And, of course, Ted Washington, a Pro Bowler in his own right.
That's neat. That is really neat.
Third and 3 for the Jets. And Pennington just throws this one into the ground. And there wasn't a soul anywhere near it except Patriot.
Yeah, Curtis Martin's right there. The official didn't see him, but Curtis Martin is fairly close to the ball. Chad Pennington is not going to throw the ball into the ground like that. I don't agree with it. Unless it's an ineligible receiver downfield or a lineman downfield. Watch number 28. Number 28 comes up to block. Now, Pennington there pumps it, and he throws it right at the feet of Curtis Martin. Now, unless they're linemen downfield, which I believe it is.
Kevin Mawae was downfield to center.
It wouldn't be intentional grounding.
This will be the 4th straight 3 and out for the New York Jets.
Now you set up for a return, right, Paul? You don't try and block it.
Eligible downfield, 68. Offense, that penalty's declined. Offensive pass interference, number 17 on the offense. That penalty is also declined. 4th down.
Who? 17?
They don't have a 17, but they might have gotten one at the end of the second quarter.
Troy Brown standing near midfield. Straczynski will take the snap in his end zone. Will peel back for the return. Brown at the 49. Can't get outside, looking for help. Got a couple of blocks down to the 43.
You know, Michael, you have been a true Iron Man. 200 telecasts here at ESPN. You really are the best at what you do. And only an act like you've been able to accomplish deserves this.
Hello, Mike. This is Cal Ripken. I just wanted to take time out to congratulate you on your streak of 200 games. I love streaks in general because I think they speak to a level of commitment. And so I want to make sure that I expressed my congratulations to you for your streak. Now, I know how you love projections, so I've taken the liberty to project your streak against mine. Hope you don't mind. But my streak is 2,632. Yours is 200. So what I've done here is subtract yours from mine, and I've come to the number of 2,432 games left. Now, you average about 18 shows per year, so I've divided 18 into 2,432 and arrived at 135, which really, this 135 number means this is how many years it would take for you to get from 200 to 2,632. And I've taken this one step further. 135, I've added what I projected to be your age, your average age. I hope that you don't mind. That's 50. And the new number now is 185. So this means that in order for you to break my streak, you would not have to miss a game until you turn 185 years old. So after this projection and calculation, I think my streak is safe.
Michael,
he's right.
Just to remember that, I want to show you this. This is from Cal Ripken.
Oh, that's great.
I can't
Cal,
stand up.
Thank you so much.
And this is for you, Michael. So,
thank you, man.
Congratulations.
185 years more, huh? All right. Well,
I want to see you after when you do it.
Nancy, can you hold that one for me?
I want to see Nancy put makeup on you at 185 years old.
Yeah, right
put it on with a roller.
Thanks to Cal for taking the time to do that. That's very nice. Thank you so much.
I guess his streak is safe.
I think it is.
I think it's fairly safe. I thought he was very kind to have you at 52. I thought that was the kindest part.
He's a gentleman. Ball at the Jets 43 for New England. Brady with time.
Oh,
catch.
Oh, my.
Brown just snatched that out of the air at the 30.
Oh, my goodness. This is why the New England Patriots have been able to put together a 10-game win streak because of catches like this. Now, Troy Brown is, Tom Brady calls him his Mr. Reliable. Now, I'll tell you, that ball's got some mustard on it. He's not even throwing that to Troy Brown. He is throwing that to Deion Branch, I promise you, who is crossing behind him. Because Troy Brown reaches up. If you ask Tom Brady after this who he was throwing to, he's going to tell you it was number 83.
From the 30, Smith lowers his shoulder and gets a couple.
I'll tell you what's really shocking when you see it. I saw Sam Coward coming across, and Victor Hobson, number 54, the two linebackers, and they can't believe that there's a guy standing back there who went up that high to get the ball. Because they just watched it go by. They figured it was overshot.
They need him so much as a part of this receiving corps. Tom Brady calls him Mr. Reliable and a playmaker. He's also their punt returner.
And they've suffered so many injuries, not only everywhere else, but at that position. They've just had to alternate guys all over the place. Brady from behind. just barely, may have been tipped on the pass rush by Robertson.
Just remember one thing about this football team, the New England Patriots. They have 42 different starters on this team this year. But the one constant with this football team has been number 12, Tom Brady.
That's right.
They have never lost him, and he has been the difference. He is the main reason. And you can talk about the defense all you want, but he is the main reason that these guys won 10 straight ball games.
All you need to do is talk to Dan Reeves of what it's like not to have your starting quarterback play for you.
3rd and 8. Larry centers with a rare carry down to the 25, which would make you think Bill Belichick was trying to set up field goal position.
I think Bill Belichick plays to the strength and the tempo of the game. He makes adjustments in game, and what he basically says is, look, our defense is doing a great job. We'll let the clock run down. We'll make a determination as to what we want to do, and if we have to, we'll kick the field goal and take a 10-point lead.
He has done a magnificent job with an injury-riddled team this year. Still has a chance for the best record in the NFL. We've reached 2 minutes. Back after this. Coming up at the half, the Kia Halftime Show with Chris Berman. ESPN's 200th fastest 3 minutes. Chiefs, Vikings, and Falcons, Bucks highlights. Roy Firestone will be along to comment on ESPN's inaugural NFL season 17 years ago. That's all coming up on the Kia Halftime Show.
How about the Minnesota Vikings today taking it to the Kansas City Chiefs? Congratulations to Mike Tyson. All the Pro Bowlers played well. Randy Moss, unbelievable today.
Would have been a 43-yard field goal. The Patriots will go for it instead. Brady. And Falk couldn't hold it. Would have been a first down. Let's go to Susie.
Mike, there's a whole lot of people that want to draw the comparison between one of the all-time great Jet quarterbacks, Joe Namath, and Chad Pennington. What impresses you about Chad?
I believe everything that anyone else has watched Chad play impresses me. The same thing impresses them. He's a quality, classy quarterback that has a touch on the football. He's not a thrower, he's a passer. His mind is ahead of what the defense is, and if the Jets can support him, they will win the championship.
Hold here 1 second for this, Joe.
Pennington, draw play to Curtis Martin. He'll get 6.
Joe, it's been a tough season for Jet fans. What does it mean to you now when the team is struggling?
I want to kiss you. I couldn't care less about the team struggling. What we know is we can improve. Chad Pennington, our quarterback, missed the first part of the season, and we struggled. We're looking to next season. We're looking to make a noise now, and I want to kiss you.
Thanks, Joe. I'll take it as a huge compliment.
You know what?
Joe Namath, part of the 4-decade team. We'll see these guys at halftime.
All right, thank you, Susie.
Joe's just a happy guy.
Isn't he?
He's just a happy guy.
Oh, boy, is he happy.
1st and 10 for the Jets as they move the ball out to their own 46. Pennington over the middle. That one's complete down to the 31. Kevin Lockett, a gain of 21.
That was a perfect throw.
It is.
That is a perfect throw, folks.
He can throw the ball down the field. This is the first time through the entire game they've tried to. Look at that, right over Asani Samuel's head, and then you see Wilson come up and make the play. But I mean, Chad Pennington can throw the ball down the field. They just haven't.
The Jets stop the clock with 1:15 to go. They have 2 timeouts remaining.
What they need to do is when they go in at halftime and all the slant routes, take them out. Just throw them out. Don't even try to throw them.
The only balls that he's had trouble with, both of them been picked off, have been balls where they're trying to work to the inside of the football field. Everything outside the numbers or up the numbers are easy places for Chad to throw. The other thing is you don't bring those linebackers into play as much.
Isn't that a result of people adjusting overtime to the West Coast?
Yeah, it's the West Coast offense. They're all short routes. You see it with Tampa Bay all the time. Brad Johnson had 4 interceptions today. When the ball goes up in the air, if it's batted, there's a lot of people there to make plays on it.
Jets trying to tie this one up. Blitz coming. Pennington hit as he throws. They just brought too many guys, and Rodney Harrison off the corner got to Pennington.
Curtis Martin just missed the call. Curtis Martin, we talked about the fundamentals that he talked about. He's the guy, he's the back that's got to pick up the outside blitzer. Watch to your right, Curtis Martin, little fake inside. When you know a blitzer's coming in Rodney Harrison, forget about the fake. It's the one thing that we were taught. If you see a blitzer, that's your #1 priority. Forget about a play fake.
And normally, he's one of the most reliable blockers on a pass rush there is.
But blitzers don't care about the play fake.
2nd and 10, and New England will call timeout. Bill Belichick has done the most remarkable job I can remember in the 17 years that we've been on the air with this package, with all the injuries he had. Can you imagine any other team that would have suffered this many injuries and even be 500, let alone be 12-2?
Well, the one thing about this football team that all the other coaches say about him and his team, and he does too, maturity. These guys, this is a mature football team.
12 wins, a franchise record, 7-0 with teams against winning records, and 42 different starters. Now remember, with the 42 different starters, he has sprinkled in Asante Samuels, a 4th-round pick as a rookie, Eugene Wilson, a 2nd-round pick, Dan Klecko, a 4th-round pick, Ty Warren, their 1st-round pick. They've not only played with the basis of the guys up front, but a lot of rookies have stepped up for him. He asks a lot of his players, and he's gotten it out of them.
And if they win their final 2 games, they will have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. 2nd and 10 for the Jets. Curtis Martin, nice cut. Curtis Martin to the 24. It'd be a couple of yards shy of a first down.
They still have 2 timeouts, the Jets do, and Pennington, just take your time. You've got plenty of time. You're just inside a minute.
13 carries, 54 yards in the first half for Curtis Martin. Pennington to Baker, the tight end. Had the first down, then driven back, then dives out of bounds to stop the clock.
What a nice
Law made the tackle.
See, I love football players that are thinking. I mean, inside 2 minutes, you have to have everybody thinking. Now, there's a case where Baker knows, there's the completion. Baker knows that he's not out of bounds. Okay, Ty Law's on the tackle, but he's strong enough and big enough, and he says, I'll just dive, try and move forward so they can stop the clock.
I'll tell you, 9 times out of 10, the official will say your progress is stopped and the clock keeps going.
But he went forward instead of sideways, and that's what saved it. 1st and 10, Jets, 44 seconds on the clock.
Just don't forget about Curtis Martin.
Intended for Moss against Law, incomplete.
Well, you know, you talk about coverage. Ty Law on Santana Moss. Ty Law, look at the room he's giving Santana Moss. Okay, you want a short route, you can. But look at this coverage. The turn almost makes the interception. He would have been out of the end zone anyway. But look at this perfect coverage. There's no chance for Santana Moss to get to that ball.
And where Ty Law was lined up from the beginning, there was no chance that Santana Moss was going to get on top of him before he ran out of the building.
Voted to this year's Pro Bowl, his 4th. And questions about whether he'll be back next year. Baker, a one-handed grab. Inside the 5 to the 4. Saving tackle by Harrison.
They had the blitz coming. They set the house. And Baker sneaks out. And he's looking around. He had to be scared because he didn't see a white shirt. Look at Baker. Excellent catch. Now watch what he does. Head for the goal line.
You know what happens so often is when teams bring full blitzes, they're counting on the offense to try and block everybody and have a free runner. Sometimes you just send somebody loose up the field and say, okay, Chad, you have to be responsible for the blitz and get it off.
Chad Pennington with a chance to talk to his coach. in the red zone. Chad Pennington, 26 touchdowns, no interceptions. That is a remarkable number.
You know what? And still here at 31 seconds, they still have one timeout. They can still run the football here on one play.
And I think it would set up some good play action. Chad Pennington he and Peyton Manning, I think, have become the masters of the play action pass in the game today.
And here's where the Patriots are very, very good.
Conway and Moss are to the right side. Now they had two guys moving at once.
Soul move. Santana Moss move.
You know what? They can, because the ball was
33. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
If he was leaning and going forward, if he could have continued it and made it look like a motion going the other way, then stopped, he'd have been all right. See, watch there. Number 33. See him? Okay, he hops up. Yeah. If he just sort of has a presence of mind to keep on moving, make it look like a motion, maybe they don't catch it. Sneaky. I know. Sneaky. But maybe.
Well, I'll tell you what, you look at some weird movies, man.
First and goal. Martin in the flat. And Ty Law came up from the corner.
That's exactly where New England wanted him to throw the football. Still got 19 seconds.
Plenty of time, and he got a timeout, so don't worry about anything, folks.
Pennington throws this one away. Baker was open, would have picked up 3 or 4. 6 seconds to go.
Ty Law, you're talking about a Pro Bowl. Look at him get himself set. Here goes Curtis Martin trying to get around him. That's what I'm talking about. When you're a defensive back and you've got a runner in front of you, get yourself in a position to make a play. He did that.
Boy, and the crowd is very unhappy because they're going to bring on the field goal team with 6 seconds to go. I thought they blew clock management there by not using their timeout.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, this is the right decision. You don't want to go in at halftime missing a scoring opportunity.
Doug Bryan from 29 yards out. So the Jets get on the board with 1 second to go in the half, and they lead it 14-10. Patriots on top of the Jets, 14-10. 1 second to go in the first half.
Now
Joe?
remember, before the half in the Indianapolis-New England game, Indianapolis decided to kick the ball to the Patriots, Bethel Johnson. He ran that back for a touchdown. I would assume that the Jets are going to roll this puppy along the ground.
I'm going to stand over here by you, Mike.
No, well, hey,
you know, how many games have you done?
But in 12 games, 191. But there were 12 seconds to go in the halftime in the Indy one.
Little squib kick. The clock will start as soon as it's touched, taken by one of the up men, and that will do it for the first half here at the Meadowlands, where the score at the half, the Patriots 14, the Jets 10. Now let's join Chris Berman for the Kia halftime show.
All right, Michael, thank you very much. 200 throws, I guess, from you to me, and welcome everybody as the Patriots lead at 14-10 at the half. You know, it all began in 1987 at this very same stadium with the Patriots at the New York Football Giants. November 8, 1987. I remember the first preseason game we had, which was first game ever at Joe Robbie Stadium. And all those, we had engineers all over. Everybody who'd ever plugged in anything here at ESPN was standing by just in case one wire came undone. It was a defining moment for us, and you've been along for the ride. And by the time that 87 season had ended, we had still, 16 years later, the highest rated show in the history of the network. And so we go through our fastest 3 minutes, and let's look back at 200 of them. And Jim McMahon banged up. They were just 2 years before the Super Bowl Shuffle Bears. Mike Tomczak to Dennis Gentry, and the Bears won at Minnesota. Still the highest rated show ever on ESPN, December 6, 1987, as Dick's Bears won. How good does this sound? Joe Montana to Dwight Clark. He had 3 TDs to Jerry Rice, this one to D.C. as the 49ers beat the Browns. And such great quarterbacks graced us here time and time again. Like Montana, like Dan Marino, to Mark Super Duper. So many times we saw Marino and the Marx brothers as the Dolphins beat the Redskins also in '87. Warren Moon was one of our favorites, through maybe the tightest spiral ever. There's a touchdown to Drew with 9 seconds to go to give the Houston Oilers a win over Cleveland. And, of course, Jim Kelly. In this game against Miami in '94, he had 4 TD passes. This one to Billy Brooks as the Bills beat the Dolphins. Running backs? Yeah. Number 20, Barry Sanders, 200 yards in the second half alone in this 94 game for the Lions against the Tampa Bay Bucs. Emmitt Smith, 2 days after Christmas in 98, set the NFL record for career rushing touchdowns with 25. Oddly enough, today, Priest Holmes had 3 for the Chiefs and has tied Emmitt's record with 25 rushing touchdowns. Dallas over Washington. Look at the moves by Emmitt Smith. And one of the great wide receivers ever, Steve Largent, earlier laid out by Mark Harden of the Broncos, lays out Harden, and then falls on the football, forcing the fumble. Ba-boom, Largent to Mike Harden. The late Derek Thomas excelled. You've seen before the 6-sack game. And then here he is with another sack in a game against Jeff George of the Vikes in '99. LA Rams and San Francisco 49ers provided great shows, and so did our own Steve Young. To Jerry Rice, not once, not twice, but 3 times as the 49ers beat the LA Rams in this 1994 game. And then some not-so-stellar moments from one of our compatriots, Sean Salisbury. And you got to love the Bucs with those bright orange jerseys. Milton Mack took it to the house from the ridiculous to the sublime. Buddy Ryan, Kevin Gilbride. Ryan throws the punch on the sideline. Gus Farrat, a knockout game for him, literally skins against Giants in a tie in '97. And a new Olympic event maybe in 2008. Kyle Curley, then of the Saints, will enter. Bills-Niners, the Super Bowl we never got. Gary Plummer, the tackle at the 1. Derek Holmes, the fumble. Lee Woodall, 96 yards for San Francisco. Last year, Olindo Mare, 53 yards, as in a great game. The Dolphins beat the Broncos, but Denver saw it again. In the snow over 50 to tie. And in the snow over 50, Mike Vanderjag to win. One of the great smiles you'll ever see from Tony Dungy. And that's our game rematch tomorrow night at Indy. Our first game, November 8th, 1987. Look at the graphics. You know it's not this year. Steve Grogan of the Pats, picked off by Lawrence Taylor. And the Giants won that game 17-10. So 200 now editions of the fastest 3 minutes in television. We thought we would go back a little bit to those Monday night heydays of Howard Cosell. This was the brainchild of our then vice president, our longtime president, Steve Bornstein. So we hope that you have enjoyed it. Well, all these things are live, and sometimes when we make mistakes, we have to say it's on its way to Pluto. But in the end, for all of us here at ESPN, thanks for letting us be a part of your football Sunday night, even if for the 200th time it happens to come on Saturday night. When we return,
this halftime show is presented by Kia Motors. Kia, make every mile count.
When we return, a couple of day games. The champs gone, Vikes moving up, and the once 9-0 Chiefs scratching heads.
Back at halftime in the Meadowlands, where the Patriots are leading the Jets 14-10. Mike Patrick and Roy Firestone with you, and ironic that we are in this booth because it was 17 years and 200 games ago we were in this very booth to start Sunday Night Football. And Roy, that first year was a wild ride.
I heard a statistic I had never heard before tonight. 8 of our first analysts the first year did jail time. Now, that's up to you folks to figure out which 4 of the 8, but that's a true statistic. Anyway, we had a great time, and it was a lot of fun. In fact, even in the preseason, if you remember, there was a parachutist at Joe Robbie Stadium that missed the stadium by about 40 miles, and we had to fill for almost an hour.
Yeah. Oh, I remember.
We had some wild times. I'll tell you, the year was 1987. ESPN was just granted broadcast rights to televise the NFL games. There was a tension and pressure on the network to come up with something new and innovative. It was then, as it is now, Mike Patrick, steady as the lead play-by-play man. And I, with that hair, was tapped to be something of a Howard Cosell type, to say outspoken things and try to get our guest commentators, many who had never been in a football booth before, to be colorful, insightful, maybe even outrageous. Imagine, though, Dick Butkus telling us the night before our game in Miami that he thought today's players were, quote, pansies. Now, he never said that on the air, folks. But I also remember Ed Marinaro, a great football player in the 70s and a TV star of Hill Street Blues, horrifying us at the production meeting by telling us that he rarely watched football anymore, but he did have some great Bud Grant stories. Then there was Larry Zonka. This was the toughest guy you'd ever meet in this very booth. He was terrified before a game at the Meadowlands because he could not memorize his opening comments. We had the late John Matuzak in San Diego. I remember, Mike, that he left the booth in the second quarter to go to the bathroom and didn't return till midway in the third quarter. On a personal note, I had 2 death threats in Seattle, something about ripping Brian Bosworth for saying he liked to hawk loogies in players' faces when he tackled them. And then there were my loves. I loved working with Roger Staubach. He was witty, insightful, thoughtful, though he told me that he never wanted to be a broadcaster because he needed to have a real life. And maybe we should have taken that advice. I don't know. I certainly loved the games. I even loved the media columns second-guessing every word that came out of our mouths. I loved it, by the way, when the guest commentator Jim Brown showed me a side he rarely showed. I don't know if you remember this, Mike. He was singing doo-wop songs with us on Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco. Why do fools fall in love? I had a ball, but it was a lot of travel. There was some sleepless nights, and I think on Mondays it looked a lot like a Saddam Hussein mugshot. They were picking fleas out of my beard. That was 16 years ago today, and I am honored and very proud to have been a big part of ESPN's history. They have certainly been a big part of my history and a big part of the National Football League. So congratulations to the Iron Man, Mike Patrick, and the rest of the crew, and Joe and Paul and all the guys in the truck and everybody else.
Roy, as hard as it was for us to adjust to a new analyst each and every week, think what it could have been. One of the alternatives was to have entertainers and not athletes. The first 2 suggestions I heard before my mind shut off, Dinah Shore and Don Rickles.
I'm not too sure about Rickles' knowledge. I think Dinah would have been solid with this. But, yeah, and as I said to Susie, George Carlin was talked about as a possible season-long analyst. That would have sent us to an analyst, I think, too. But it was really an experiment that really was before its time, before the Dennis Miller era, too. We had a lot of fun. It was challenging. We started at week 8, so we were midway through the season. But you guys have done an unbelievable job. I'm so proud to be part of the history here. And needless to say, I think this is the best broadcast in the business. I really do.
Thank you so much for coming back and sharing these memories. Just great to see you.
It's my great pleasure to be back.
We'll be back for the second half right after this.
And they've won, what, 10 games, 14 points or less? They're just right where they need to be to win the football game.
Patriots will get the ball to start the second half. Bethel Johnson with great speed. 35, 40-yard line. Moments ago, Susie had a chance to talk to Herman Edwards.
Those Patriot linebackers sure know how to get their hands up. What did you tell your quarterback how to avoid that?
Well, they're doing a great job. They took the slants away from us. They're playing our slant game a little bit, so we had to get away from it. They did a great job of making some plays on some slants on us. But other than that, it's a pretty good football game. We drove it down there at the end and got close, and you know, it's 10-14. So we're playing against the division champs, and we're hanging in there. And all we got to do is get our offense a little bit better field position. We've been backed up a lot, and if we can just get some better field position, we can move the ball on.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
And the Patriots start with great field position. And Tom Brady completes his first throw to David Givens, and it's a first down.
Much like what Herman Edwards did, he gives his score first.
Yeah.
It's 10-14.
That's good. Well, and, you know, of course, Chad Pennington's had 2 of those passes intercepted. It was also watching Tom Brady throw that pass. You hear Herm Edwards talk about what Brady's strength is. That deep 14-yard route in is what he says is his best pass.
Antoine Smith is the deep man in the eye. Good fake by Brady. Centers out in the flat. The man who has caught more passes out of the backfield for more yards than anyone in history, dragged down by Mo Lewis.
Mo Lewis, one of the veterans at the linebacker position. I mean, when you look at the linebacker position, Mo Lewis 13 years, Marvin Jones 11 years. Sam Cowart never really has had a chance to come back after that terrible knee injury when I thought that was going to be the launching pad to his career. He was going to be one of the dominant linebackers. Probably a year away again from getting back to himself, but that's a position where I think the Jets are going to have to look to get younger.
He made the Pro Bowl in 2000 and looked for all the world to be a superstar in this league. Antoine Smith on the toss, then cuts it back. Big hole for Smith. Inside the 20.
Boy, you just got to love what he just did. Antoine Smith, they ran a toss, but he knows if he goes wide, he loses all of his power. Watch how quick he gets back to the hole, and look at the blocking by the offensive line. The left side, Woody and Light. Look at here. The hole is there. And Antoine Smith gets square to the line of scrimmage. We say it all the time, but that's what all great backs do. They get themselves square to the line of scrimmage, and they're hard to bring down.
It's been running back by committee all year for the Patriots. It hasn't mattered. They've gotten it done. And Smith barrels for 5 more inside the 15.
I remember a couple years ago when the New England Patriots sort of put on their move at the end of the season as they went on towards a Super Bowl and ultimately a championship. Antoine Smith became the guy that was the stable of their running game. There he has 86 yards.
Right now, averaging 8.6 a carry, and Kevin Falk will come in to join the backfield with Larry Centers.
Dorrance had 100 yards, huh?
Nope. He's gaining on it. Quick out, first down. Deion Branch gets the grab, and the Patriots in the red zone, 30th in the NFL. And one of the reasons for that, normally, you don't run the ball well.
The only two worse than them are the Giants, and we saw them last week. We know the struggles they're having. And interestingly enough, the worst team is the Carolina Panthers, just by a fraction. But here's a team that's locked up the division title and will be going to the playoffs.
2 tight end set. Fall to the 5.
If you're the Jets defense now, this is a little bit where the age and the experience at the linebacker position should play into your favor, because there isn't a lot of running involved. It should be north and south. You should be coming towards the line of scrimmage. The only thing you have to be concerned with would be some play action passing. And boy, New England loves to run the crossing routes too.
Antoine Smith is back in. The only wide receiver is Gibbons. Brady to throw. Gibbons, touchdown. Mickens was out there, immediately turned his head as if to say somebody else should have been over here.
You talk about this game being a game of inches. Tom Brady is just barely going to get the ball off. There's the play action fake to Antoine Smith. He sets. Now watch from the left part of your screen. Here it comes. Just about gets there. Dwayne Robertson, number 63. Doesn't quite get to it, and Gibbons with another touchdown.
Vinatieri, who has not missed a point after this year, makes it 21-10. A solid drive for New England, and they're up by 11.
This ESPN NFL special brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Friendly nonstop service all across the country. Southwest Airlines, a symbol of freedom. And Mazda, there's a soul of a sports car in everything we make.
Aerial coverage at Giant Stadium tonight, courtesy of Casio G-Shock. Glad you could join us for our 200th telecast on ESPN. And the Patriots scoring drive, a good one, 60 yards. Antoine Smith had the big play with a long run, and here is a kick bounce straight up the middle, picked up by Askew. And Askew has some room to run, got a block in the corner, and takes it all the way to the 45.
That's a perfect way to answer a touchdown.
And that's one of the smart things you do on special teams, is put a back in there.
2002. Sean Alexander, Seattle Seahawks. 5 touchdowns in the first half.
Off to the races. Goodbye, Sean Alexander, touchdown. It's the kind of performance you would expect from a guy who had his number retired in high school while he was still playing.
Well, when he got 5 in the first half, I was really looking for. I thought maybe he'd have 10, 5 more.
Won't it be disappointing if the Seahawks don't make the playoffs after the run that they have had?
Pennington short set. Anthony Beck down to the 35, very close to a first down.
Chad Pennington has done a pretty good job getting the ball outside the hash marks. He's had a lot of completions. There you see him. There are his problems in the middle. As long as he keeps the ball outside, he's fine. But when he tries to throw into the middle, the Patriots linebackers, all they do is watch his eyes, and they focus in, and then they go after the ball. They've gotten two of them.
Second and very short, and they'll let Curtis Martin try to pick it up. And he does, stopped by Bruschi.
Chad Pennington being fairly efficient except for a couple of miscues. The first one, Teddy Bruschi just does an excellent job right in the middle, starts to jump, leaps, picks it off. Now, Willie McGinnis, he'll do the same thing. There he is. There's Willie McGinnis on the right side. He does the same thing. Just watches Chad Pennington's eyes and then goes in the end zone.
First down from the 34. Moss goes in motion. They fake the end around, and now Pennington is going to run. And slides in under Bruschi at the 27.
I just like what Pennington's doing. He and Brady both. You talk about awareness on the field. Chad Pennington, they faked an end around to Santana Moss. He looks downfield at his first target, knows that that's covered. Now watch how quick he's gone. Now he's got to get out of there. He sees Ted Washington, 92, coming after him. He just gets downfield. Now the smart part.
Well,
as much as you can and get down.
He's carried the ball 17 times for 1.3-yard average coming in, so he's not going to run away from anybody.
Curtis Martin diving to the 22. And you've got to say this. The Jets played so hard last week in their win over Pittsburgh. There is certainly no quitting this team under Herman Edwards.
Well, last week, Herm Edwards told them, okay, next year begins now. They're looking at these last 3 games as a foundation for next year, and with a little bit of luck, he may have Chad Pennington at the beginning of the season. I mean, he's had some unfortunate things when he broke his left wrist and missed so many games.
It's another impressive drive for the Jets. They have reached the Patriots 22. Pennington under pressure from behind, the ball's loose. And the Jets have recovered, pouncing on it. Kareem McKenzie, the right tackle. Knocked away by Vrabel on the blitz from behind.
Ted Johnson told us they had some pretty nice pressure packages on Chad Pennington, and it's been Mike Vrabel the one who's gotten it. That time he goes around Fabini, and just Pennington never gets a chance to get the ball going forward.
Well, Ted Johnson told us yesterday that Pennington gets in that 5-yard set, and that's where we headed for. And if you looked at Vrabel that time, he went up to Pennington sat at 7, went up to 5, and that's where Vrabel hit him.
Yeah, Fabini's got to do a better job of blocking him, though.
Curtis Martin. Look at all those white shirts swarm at the 21.
Well, you can't go lateral.
Right.
I mean, the 3-4, the way the New England Patriots play it with McGinnis and Harrison and Asante and the corners, you just can't go laterally because all of a sudden there's a linebacker filling and bouncing you out to the next guy.
Big play here, 3rd and 8. Under 7 minutes to go, 3rd quarter from the Meadowlands.
Rodney Harrison just looked at the bench and said, send me in another guy.
Now they basically have 2 down linemen.
They show blitz, and here they come. Pennington floats it for Moss.
Intercept.
Oh, what a play by Moore. Oh, what a play.
With his 6th interception, perfect coverage, perfect awareness, and the pick.
Look where the ball is thrown. I mean, the ball is thrown perfectly. Santana Moss cannot get to it. Ty Law covered him perfectly, makes the interception. Patriots ball.
Patriots 21-10. Joe, heck of a play by Ty Law.
Well, it is, but it's also a bad play by the Jets. I'm going to show you. Ty Law, look at how far he is off of Santana Moss. Now, he never breaks down the cushion. Santana doesn't. And you got the back of the end zone, so Moss really can't use his speed. This is the 2nd time they've tried to throw the route. Law almost had the first one, and he picked this one off.
It's his 35th career interception, only one short of Raymond Claiborne's New England record. And Antoine Smith right back to the ground, pounds it out for a couple. 25 this year, second in the NFL. Tonight they have picked off Chad Pennington 3 times. One of them returned for a touchdown.
See, and if you're throwing fades, you've got to give the guy with the speed a chance to run. That's got to be when you're backed up and you've got 40 or 50 yards of field for Ty Law to defend. Don't let the back of the end zone be a defender and help him.
Short completion to Givens, and Beasley is there immediately to wrap him up.
When you're looking at Ty Law and just to continue on with that thing, if I'm going to throw that fade, I'm going to throw it someplace else. Now, the only other problem is that the other corner, Tyrone Poole, has had a great year also.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right. Why throw to a short field
with a short receiver?
And Ty Law saw the ball coming before he made his turn.
3rd and 3. Fake the screen, fake the draw, and then Brady throws to a wide-open Deion Branch first down. Well designed, had the defense moving everywhere.
I saw Tom Brady in the tunnel before the ball game, and I walked by him and I said, "Good luck tonight, Tom." He said, "We're going to do great," in a very determined way, and that's the way he's playing tonight. Moving around, sliding around in the pocket, and they also practice that. Susie was talking about what the linebackers do. Part of what they do when it comes to moving around is John Huffnagel, their quarterback coach, has them drop back and slide a few steps to the right, slide a few steps to the left. And there you saw it being implied.
They don't miss anything in terms of preparation. Now they'll whistle the play dead.
Delay game.
Delay, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
One of the few mistakes they have made, and Tom Brady did not make the Pro Bowl as an AFC selection. So often, it's the numbers that determine it. 19 touchdown passes, 12 picks. It would be tough not to put Brady in, but how do you take one of those other guys out?
Look at the records of the other 3. They're just as good. I mean, Unfortunately, there are too many good quarterbacks at that position for everyone to go.
Brady rifles this. Graham couldn't hold it. Just off his finger.
Oh, he hit Graham right in the hands, and this ball should have been caught. Graham is going down the middle, and when Brady sees him, he just lets it go. Here comes Graham, number 82. Look what this ball is thrown. Right there on his hand. That ball should have been caught. It hits him in the hands, but trying to bring it in is where he lost it.
They've talked about Daniel Graham being a very good pass blocker, and the one thing that he's continuing to need to work on is his hands.
Brady straight back against the 4-man rush, and now the protection breaks down. Brady's still able to throw it away and avoid the sack.
Oh, is that a smart play or what?
Now, the question is he in the tackle box? That should be intentional grounding. There wasn't a receiver in the area. It didn't look to me like he was outside the tackle box. I would think it would be intentional grounding.
They're talking about it.
He went straight back.
Yeah. Watch. Tackle box works this way. Over here. Now, is he outside of it? Not really. He never gets outside of it, I don't think.
They threw a flag. Good call, Joseph.
Brady never gets out of what's considered the tackle box.
Now they're going to have another discussion.
Intentional grounding, number 10 on the offense.
No, it's number 12.
10-yard penalty, loss of down. 3rd down.
It's a great job of the officials working together because the referee is concentrating on protecting the quarterback. Somebody else has to come up and say there was no receiver over there.
But is Walt Coleman colorblind? Number 10's wearing green. Number 12's wearing white. He says intentional grounding on number 10.
Tacky.
I'm sorry, but green and white are 2 very different ones.
All
2
right, 2nd and 10.
Now it is 3rd and 25, the first really long yardage situation for New England, and Brady too high over the middle.
No, this one just got away from Brady. He tried to throw it too hard, and the ball just went out of his hand.
So the Jets will force them to kick it away with 3:51 to go, third quarter.
Well, this is a great stop by the Jets. So they just turned the ball over. They were going in to score. They had an interception, and then they shut him down. Of course, a couple of penalties helped.
Santana Moss in the top 10 in the NFL in punt returning.
He's got to field these punts. Santana Moss has let 2 of them go before. They went down by the 10-yard line. He's got to at least field them.
High and short. Moss with nobody around him from the 34 crosses the 40. So good field position for the Jets. They have moved the ball well, but only have 10 points to show for it. And they are down 21-10 to the Patriots.
(1998).
Emmitt Smith, touchdown. Holy cow, what a run.
Emmitt Smith breaks the NFL record for career rushing touchdowns.
One of the great pleasures of doing these games over the course of time has been seeing good things happen to good people. They don't get any better than Emmitt Smith. The Jets would like something good to happen to them right now, starting from their own 42. Moss, flanker screen. Boy, New England just played that beautifully. Let's check in with Susie.
One of the most popular player in Jets history is Joe Klecko. Your son Dan's having a pretty solid rookie season for the Patriots. In what ways has he relied on you?
Well, we talk about a lot of things from day to day. You know, after each game he calls me and we talk, and he's had a lot of success. He's done pretty well.
What's it like for him to be back here on this field tonight?
Well, it was pretty exciting for all of us. We have a lot of family here to see him play, of course, and then me being honored today and him playing. I mean, you talk about coincidences. It was a pretty good feeling.
Thanks, Joe.
You got it.
In 1981, Joe Klecko had 20.5 sacks for the New York Sack Exchange. Just a remarkable performance.
Well, I tell you, and one of the nicest guys that ever played the game. You know,
he and his son, they get up like 5:30 in the morning. Joe goes to the gym with Dan. They go through their routine, their workout routine. So, and he looks like he's been throwing the iron around a little bit.
You know, he walked like that when he was playing. He did. Well, is he strong? I mean, really strong.
So is his son. Only 5'11", 280, plays nose.
Pennington. Double clutch. Got it to his tight end, Baker, and Baker has a first down.
I tell you, Chris Baker is getting open. He's been every time that Pennington, I mean, and he has not been his primary target either. He's always been the second or third guy he's looking at. But Pennington stays in this pocket. They block well for him. He steps up, and look at Baker getting himself open in the middle of the field. Well, and the first down.
You can see the Patriots when Pennington gets his arm up to throw. You see a bunch of hands come up on the defensive side.
Martin, one of the hardest running backs in the league, down to the 42. Let's update you on the AFC playoff picture, and New England now has the best record at 12-2 because Kansas City loses today. They have clinched the division title, as has Kansas City. Indianapolis, who will have tomorrow night against Denver, has clinched a playoff berth. The wild card right now, it's Tennessee, and Denver will have the Broncos tomorrow night at Indianapolis with a chance to go to 10-5 and enhance their standing.
Of course, with Jake Plummer pulling the trigger for him, a mobile quarterback.
Here comes the blitz, and they started early. And they're going to call it illegal motion against the offense.
Prior to the snap, false start, 69, offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Patriots going for their 11th in a row. They are the first team ever to win 10 straight by 14 or fewer. They have not blown anybody out. They just find a way to win.
And it goes back to that, you know, they can't run, they don't run the ball very well. They don't need to run the ball very well.
But they never get into a situation where they're forced to just throw. They always have the run available.
2nd and 11. Pennington short hops it to Conway.
You know, we talk so much about Ty Law on the other side of this defense, number 24. But the guy that's had a solid year for this team is number 38, Tyrone Poole. He has 6 interceptions this year, but this guy here, that's why you can play man-to-man on the corners with those two guys, Joe. And when you can do that, you free up, that you really now have a free safety.
Those other 9 guys, you can do whatever you want in the middle of the field with them.
3rd and 11. Here comes the blitz. Pennington unloads in time. Moss snatches it inside the 30, cuts back inside the 25. Well, the offensive line did a good job picking up the blitz, and Moss was open for a gain of 24.
Boy, they read the blitz perfectly, the offensive line, and they gave him all the time in the world to throw this. But look at the catch by Santana Moss. Up in the air, total concentration on the ball, and they have a first down. They're inside the 25.
Another good job by Chad Pennington, just hanging in the pocket.
That will do it for the 3rd quarter. Patriots hanging on to a 21-10 lead over the Jets.
2003, Peyton Manning, Indianapolis Colts, 6 touchdown passes.
A club record, 6 touchdown passes for Peyton Manning. And they took him out of the game in the 4th quarter. If it left him in, who knows?
I want to see just a highlight package of Marvin Harrison's touchdown catches this year. That's all I want to see. They are absolutely spectacular, every one of them.
First down from the 24, Jets driving again. And they'll whistle the play dead.
Well, there's plenty of time left on the play clock.
There's no flag.
New England might have called timeout, I think.
First timeout, New England.
Didn't like something they had defensively. And tomorrow night at 7:30, watch NFL Primetime to get caught up on all the day's action. Then Peyton Manning and the Colts against Jake Plummer and the Broncos on ESPN Sunday Night Football at 8:30 tomorrow night. We'll get on the charter in a couple of hours, wing our way toward Indianapolis, and bring you that one. And Clinton Portis with that bad knee, hopefully he'll be able to play for Denver. 1,500 yards in each of his first 2 seasons. Only 3 guys have done that.
Average stuff, but the amazing thing about him, he averages 5.5.
That leads the league.
5.5 last year and 5.5 this year.
They have had some special backs out there, but he's right up there with the best.
And after that game tomorrow night, we got that shopping center opening on Monday.
Was it Monday? I thought it was Tuesday.
No, it's Monday afternoon.
We'll be there.
It's in Poughkeepsie.
Okay. Looking forward to it. All the people in Poughkeepsie now are buying tickets.
Curtis Martin, 67 yards on 18 carries.
Pennington. And throws it incomplete. Flag is down back at the 35.
That's going to be on Kareem McKenzie probably. Holding Bobby Hamilton, number 91. When you come out on that bootleg, you put your linemen in binds if you hang on to the ball. Watch number 67 come out. Here comes Pennington. There's number 67. Hanging on, and just lets it go.
And really, there's nothing that a tackle can do in that situation. He's just out there in no man's land. It will be 1st and 20. New England always shifting personnel. 3 guys come on, 3 come off. Kevin Lockett is in as an additional wide receiver for the Jets.
Speaking of linemen, we got Kevin Mawai wired after the next play.
Pennington knocked away. Asante Samuel, the rookie, got a hand in and knocked it down. Let's listen to Kevin Mawai, wired for Sunday night.
All right, be ready for something different right out of the box. They're going to throw something at us. 3 down! 3 down! Ace! I know, I tried to stay on him, and the back's over the top, so I had to come around him. Yellow, yellow! Giant left! Yeah! 280! Hard! 280! Backer!
Centers have to be so smart, always communicating with everybody else. Mawai going to the Pro Bowl again, 5 times. Pennington under pressure, lost the ball. Willie McGinnis got the sack. No signal yet.
Chad Pennington's barely holding on to it. Oh!
You know, Joe, you talked about Willie McGinnis earlier in this game. Now here goes McGinnis up in the air. He forces Chad Pennington to tuck the ball away. Now he stays with him and makes the tackle on this play.
Strips the ball.
Pennington loses the ball but gets it back. Look at Willie McGinnis. I mean, you know, Curtis Martin's trying to block him, and that's hard for anybody with this guy. But he made some excellent moves to get to the quarterback, and they went to that 5-yard area where Pennington's going to be.
You can't block anybody with your head down. Backs cannot block blitzing linebackers when they can't see them.
3rd and 22. New England comes with a 4-man rush. Pennington down the middle, almost intercepted, then tipped and caught by Conway. Oh, are you kidding? Tyrone Poole looked like he had a bead on it, couldn't hold it.
Chad Pennington threw a changeup. He did. Watch this. This ball is just hanging. Now Poole's going to go up. He's not used to having it. See, he starts to close his hand. The ball's not there.
Tyrone Poole went up too soon, and he got to the top, and here comes the ball. It hits him at the top of his hands. And how about Curtis Conway? You talk about total concentration on the ball.
Oh, doesn't that remind you of John Mobley last year in Denver? When the ball went right through his hands, I believe, in the Miami game.
Conway, the veteran with the Chicago Bears, who's been injured in recent years, makes a big catch there for the New York Jets. You can get the same great view that our guys in the truck have if you get ESPN HD, remarkably clear pictures. Tomorrow night you can see the Indianapolis Colts and the Denver Broncos. All you need is ESPN HD, now available nationwide. Believe me, it changes television.
There's our Cracker Jack camera people out in the elements, braving the cold of Giants Stadium.
Anybody seen Roy Firestone?
He's right here.
It's a popsicle.
Draw play, Curtis Martin down to the 10.
Ooh, Ted
when Roy left Los Angeles, it was 75 degrees. It ain't 75 degrees here.
I think Herm Edwards here is, if it boils down to a 4th down for him, I believe they go for it. They have nothing to lose. Kicking a field goal, I don't know if they'll get the chance to go again.
Well, you need 2 scores.
You're into the win, so yeah.
No, you kick.
You kick?
I'm telling you. Oh, sure. Then it gets you an 8-point game.
I wouldn't.
That's another reason why you're not coaching.
11th play of the drive coming. They come with a blitz. Pennington, Baker. Oh. He had caught everything over the middle. One-hand grabs, not that time, and it would have been a touchdown.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Pennington, you talk about reading the blitz. Look at Chad Pennington knows. He's got Baker. He beats Willie McGinnis at the line of scrimmage. The ball is up in the air. He's made 3 other catches. This ball was a little high, but should have been caught.
No, I bet you Paul Hackett, Paul Hackett, the offensive coordinator, sitting up there. He's looking at the Patriots coming on the blitz. He's going, perfect, perfect. And he's going, oh no.
We've gotten used to so many spectacular catches, but when a guy drops a very difficult catch, it's disappointing. Pennington takes off. Touchdown.
Decisions, decisions, decisions. And when you make the right one that quick, you score.
You're right, and the quick part is what you're talking about, Paul. When you're decisive at the quarterback position, not a lot of bad things are going to happen for you.
That is his longest run of the year.
Watch this. He doesn't like what he sees. There you see the crater open up, and now he's not sliding. He's just heading for the end zone.
They're going for 2 here to get this to a 3-point game.
See?
See what? See? Here, where's Roy? Roy, get over here where Joe is.
Do you like this?
Oh, come on.
There's 12 minutes to go.
Could they give Michael Patrick a better 200th game than this?
What a present, Mike. All for you. All for you, Mike.
This would cut it to 3. Empty backfield. Pennington in the flat, incomplete. Intended for Lockett, and Harrison was out there. But they have cut it to 5 with a lot of time to go in this game. Chad Pennington with his longest run of the year and his first rushing touchdown.
This ESPN NFL special brought to you by Norelco, ultra close, ultra comfortable, guaranteed. And Nissan, who invites you to shift the way you move through the world.
Aerial coverage tonight courtesy of Casio G-Shock.
I'll tell you what, Paul Westhoff is the special teams coach, and he could be up to anything. I wouldn't be surprised if they onside kick.
No, Paul, no. You don't want to give New England a short field.
Right.
Little pooch, they're trying to keep it away from Bethel Johnson. Picked up by one of the up men, that's Dan Klecko, and takes it back across the 40.
Sort of a
so
tweener.
Out of that kick, they get a short field anyway.
Got a tweener.
If you just joined us, it has been a good night for quarterbacks. Tom Brady. This was their first offensive play after a turnover. Brady has thrown a pair of touchdown passes tonight, both to Givens and Pennington, with a couple of plays using his feet, and gets 2 touchdowns. He got the Jets back within 5 points. He had not had a rushing touchdown all year coming into this game. Antoine Smith gets it out to the 44. Let's check in with Susie.
And Mike, this is a great opportunity for us to see 2 of the best young gun quarterbacks in the NFL go head-to-head. And Tom Brady said from his standpoint, he does feel like there is a rivalry. He knows that last year Chad Pennington led the NFL in efficiency, and he says they are similar in a lot of ways. Good decision makers, efficient, quick feet, good hands, and he says that they are competing against each other tonight. Both of these teams feed off of their quarterbacks.
And Susie, they're competing at the highest level as well. Brady with time, dumps it to Smith, and Smith is clobbered by Jones.
The other thing that I know, Joe, that you like about both of these guys, they've got nerves of steel. I mean, nothing bothers them. They're young guys that just really, it's not that they don't care, it's just they just have such composure. If you look at Brady looking around, he looked over the entire field and then decided to throw the ball to Antoine.
Knows exactly where everyone is. Charlie Wise, the offensive coordinator, and John Huffnagel, the quarterback coach, do an excellent job of giving him opportunities to make plays. He's got probably the strongest arm in the game.
3rd and 3, and the crowd really into it. And there's movement up front. The left tackle, Matt Light, moved the left arm and may have rocked back a little.
Prior to the snap, false start, 72, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
So instead of 3rd and 3, it's 3rd and 8.
Well, on the last series, remember, New England came up with a lot of penalties on offense. Wound up in a long yardage situation, hurt themselves. Here they go again. They've got a 3rd and 3. Now you're at 3rd and 8.
You don't think the Indianapolis Colts are interested in this game? If it ends up in a 3-way tie, they get home field advantage.
We talked to Peyton the other day, and he said, hey, tell those Jets to do us a favor.
Well, Minnesota did earlier in the day when they knocked off Kansas City. 3rd and 8, 4-man rush. Brady with time underneath. Brown, he will not get the first down.
Hey, there is a big difference between Tom Brady and Chad Pennington, and it's the way they throw the football. Pennington's ball tends to hang a little bit without a lot of velocity. That's why he can't throw the ball down the field as effectively. Tom Brady has just got an absolute rocket. Wind, no wind, snow, rain, it doesn't matter. The ball comes out flying.
Santana Moss waits at the 10 for Ken Walters' punt. Very short. And finally Finally takes a roll down to the 16-yard line. 9:32 to go in the ball game. Can Chad Pennington bring the Jets from behind?
Green Bay Packers. Brett Favre connects with Antonio Freeman for game-winning touchdown.
Favre hung in there as long as he could, launched it, and Freeman caught it. One of 27 game-winning drives that Favre has led in his career, and every time we have done a Green Bay game, you just get all goosebumpy waiting for Favre to play.
Why are so many of them against the Bucs? Sorry, I just happened to notice that. I like the old uniform.
Pennington straight back, dumps it off to Martin. Got away from Brewski. And up near the 25, they need the 26 for a first down. See who had the most appearances on Sunday night. The Raiders, Minnesota, Seattle have all been in the 20s. Miami with 19, Houston, and then Tennessee at 17. Based on the first couple of years, you would think it would be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when they went 2 and 14.
That's when Seattle wasn't good either, too. That's when we got it.
Martin breaks through, has a first down out to the 33. Roy Firestone kind enough to join us. Oh, you got the coat on now.
I just had the blanket on here. I got the mittens from Joe. It's Nanook of the North up here.
What do you think? What do you think has changed since we started this package 17 years ago? What's changed about this game?
Well, there are more monitors up front,
yes,
for sure.
More gear.
I just think that the total professionalism in here, I mean, you guys, seriously, you do a great job. You have a lot of fun, but you guys have great insights into what's going on. I think that just the total professionalism of the broadcast team, for one thing.
Pennington on a roll with the bomb, way overthrown. Harrison was there to intercept at the 27.
Well, he is, I mean, Chad Pennington has the first 2 interceptions by the linebackers, that happens. But the interception by Ty Law, and now this one by Rodney Harrison, he has no reason to throw the football unless Santana Moss just stopped and hung him out.
Patriots on top 21-16. Joe, you were exactly right about Santana Moss.
This is Santana Moss here, Ty Law, Rodney Harrison. He's going to run an out and up and go, and then he's going to stop right there and really hang Chad Pennington out. There's the inside move. There's the out and up. Rodney Harrison, Steve. Now he slows down. You can't do that. The quarterback's waiting for you to go up the field. You can't stop your route. Now, is it a catch? Right foot down, left foot down, push to the ground, and control when he hits the ground. Yes.
The first 3 interception game of Chad Pennington's career.
Well, that was Jason Ferguson who jumped offside and then threw Tom Brady at the running back.
Actually, that was the 4th for Pennington. Never had more than 2.
Offside, 72. Defense, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
See, I don't. To me, that's not his fault.
No, I agree with you.
Rodney Harrison did a nice job of getting back. They tried to run an out and up against double coverage, and it wasn't going to work. And he's telling Santana, look, you can't quit on me. You can't stop. You've got to continue the route, even though the guy is there.
1st and 5 after the penalty, and Antoine Smith up to the 45.
And they have a 100-yard rusher.
Yes, they do.
Way to go, Antoine.
Well, this reminds me of their Super Bowl year when he just started to turn it on. He just became the man that they hung their hat on.
We talked to Herman Edwards about, here's New England. They're having an awful lot of problems trying to run the football, yet they've been winning football games. And he said, let me tell you something. One of the things we do have to stop is them running the football. Now, we know what we got in Brady. We just don't know what we have as far as the running game is concerned, whether we can stop it. And they haven't been able to do that.
In 2001, Antoine Smith was a 1,000-yard back. End around to Gibbons, and Gibbons wants to throw. Intercepted. Tyrone Carter. Holy cow, what a turnaround. They were going for the kill shot.
Why do you
put it away?
Why do you want to get cute? Not when you're doing everything right. Why get cute?
Because that's the part of the football field where you're willing to take the chance. Terrific job by Tyrone Carter, just baiting him into throwing.
There, Anderson made the catch. Look out.
1989, Flipper Anderson, NFL record, 336 yards receiving.
Holy cow! You know, every time you see highlights of that game, you say, he couldn't have had 336 yards. That's impossible. But he did. The Jets with a huge break as New England went with a gimmick play. Now they hand it off to Curtis Martin up to the 49. We asked you earlier to vote on our 200th game Sunday night stud, and Flipper Anderson with 336 receiving yards. Jerry Rice, Derek Thomas, Sean Alexander, Peyton Manning, the other candidates. Here's the result. Sean Alexander with 5 touchdowns in one half, 0.3 of a point ahead of Flipper Anderson. 215,000 people voted in our online poll. Thanks for taking the time.
Just some great athletic feats.
Pennington, another one batted in the air and almost intercepted. Seymour had it go right through his hands after he batted it in the air.
Let me tell you, this is going to be a situation for the New York Jets to deal with next year. They've got to figure out routes where Chad Pennington doesn't drop back 2 yards and throw, because the linemen are doing exactly what you said, Paul. They're standing on the line of scrimmage, waiting for him to throw the short routes, and they're batting them up in the air.
And the other thing I'm going to blame, too, is the offensive lineman. When you got a guy standing there, you got to go in and cut him. You got to either hit him in the gut to make him drop his hands. Their offensive linemen are waiting on the defensive lineman to do things.
3rd and 7. Clock becoming a factor with 6:17 to go. Can the Jets keep the drive going? Pennington! Rodney Harrison was the first guy. Then McGinnis and Seymour cleaned up after he pulled it down, and Harrison is hurt.
Rodney got hurt on this play, but boy, Pennington really didn't have a chance. You look at Rodney all the way from the 40-yard line, which is about 12 yards back. He takes a run, and then Seymour, Richard Seymour, 93, kind of falls on him.
No, Harrison,
yes, on his ankle, right there.
He twisted his left ankle when he went around him.
4th sack of the night. Let's go to Susie.
Well, Mike, Rodney Harrison, arguably the most valuable free agent pickup of the year. He told us he's capitalized on the motivation of being rejected by San Diego after 9 seasons. He's tied for the team lead in tackles, now 3 sacks, 3 interceptions. Teammates voted him captain early on, so he felt like he had their respect right away, and he said this ride has been unbelievable. He didn't win this many games in 9 years with the Chargers. Here he said the expectations are different because you don't just hope to win, you expect to win. He said this team has so much confidence, one of the closest teams he's ever played on.
And Susie, he timed the blitz perfectly on that last play. He did not get the sack, but he caused it. Now Troy Brown waits at his 23. Straczynski to punt again. The Jets couldn't capitalize on good field position. High and short into the wind. Brown with a fair catch at the 32. Tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern, watch NFL Primetime to get caught up on all the day's action. And then red-hot Peyton Manning and the Colts against Jake the Snake Plummer and the Broncos on ESPN Sunday Night Football at 8:30. There will be so much riding on that game, including home field advantage. Right now, New England in the driver's seat. They finish against the Bills. Kansas City finishes against the Bears after that loss they had against Minnesota today. Indianapolis, of course, will finish at Houston.
I just hope Clinton Portis can play in that game tomorrow night.
So do the Denver Broncos.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this guy is a great back. And you know, one thing about the Denver Broncos, do they ever really been hurting in a back position? They've always had 2 or 3.
If you think they are, and then they find someone.
Well, if Portis can't play tomorrow night, Mike Anderson, who set a rookie record, will be the starting tailback.
And he's back from, should be well rested because he was back from a suspension. Willie McGinnis has had an unbelievable night, and Bill Belichick's defense continues to rise to the occasion.
Boy, New England is bleeding every second out of these plays right now. I don't think we're going to see another end around. Antoine Smith. He's close to another first down.
Mike, this is what I was talking about before, and Paul, you brought it up. New England they don't put up big, gaudy numbers running the football. But in the last 9 games, they've averaged 30 runs a game. They never really get behind where they have to abandon it. So they can continue to pound away and pick up 3 or 4 yards. It's a lot easier to make up those 3rd and 4s if you run the ball a few times than it is 3rd and 15s.
Well, now it's 3rd and inches, and as you can see, they average only 3.2 yards a carry and just got their first 100-yard back tonight in Antoine Smith. Whistle, they stop play. This is a big call here.
This is against New England, and I'll tell you what, the Jets weren't even set.
Right on the snap, false start, 82, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
It's got to drive you crazy. The Jets aren't even set. Brady could have walked up and taken the ball. Look at the Jets moving around. Now you got a tight end that moves on the line of scrimmage, and he's not even affected in the play.
And it's not that loud that he can't hear it.
No.
It doesn't seem like it's that loud.
So instead of 3rd and inches, 3rd and 6.
This is the 3rd straight series that New England has put themselves in a hole with a penalty.
Brady with an empty backfield. And he's got the first down up to the 47. Christian Fauria, we've not called his name all night long, makes a clutch grab.
He's the Iceman. Tom Brady is just so cool. It seems like the more pressure, the more that needs to be put on his shoulder. He just drops back very casually, makes the throw. Christian Fauria hauls it in.
Brady, the numbers aren't great. His quarterback rating is right in the middle of the pack. But when they have needed him to come through, he has been so clutch for this team. First down, they can continue to burn the clock.
You know, Michael, and yesterday we were talking to Tom Brady. Yeah, he's disappointed about the Pro Bowl. But when you looked at the gleam in his eye about the Super Bowl, you can forget about the Pro Bowl. And it really, it matters, but it doesn't matter. They have a bigger goal in mind, and they know what it is. This is one of the most unselfish football teams that we have seen. I mean, the Jets are the same way. They've got a great locker room. New England has a phenomenal locker room.
And Bill Belichick is a guy who has rules they apply to everybody, whether they're the last guy on his roster or the star. Antoine Smith barrels down to the 45. Let's go to Susie.
Well, Mike, it looks like this is going to be another drama-filled game for the Patriots on the road. Remember Week 7 at Miami? Olinda Mare missed a would-be game-winning field goal. In overtime was 82 yards. Brady to Troy Brown for the touchdown. Week 9 at Denver, the Patriots purposely snapped the ball out of the end zone for a safety. When they got it back, Brady marched them down the field for a win. And then at Indy, that huge goal line stand to preserve a 38-34 win. So what'll happen tonight?
Now, right now, they're in sort of a different venue. They're just trying to work time off the clock. And now Tom Brady, he's going to call timeout, but look at the presence of mind. He let every second tick off that clock he could before he spent that timeout.
Here's the thing. Here the New England Patriots are. They're playing for home field advantage. Tom Brady has thrown 3 touchdown passes at home in Gillette Stadium. He has no interceptions at home. So you sort of say to yourself, they really want home field, but they've been so much more effective, and him in particular, on the road.
Plus, I think this team is so good that they don't really need the ultimate home field advantage. I think there are some teams in this league that really need to be at home in the playoffs, but I think they're good enough to avoid it.
They remind me of the San Francisco 49ers of the 80s. The 49ers actually had better road records than they did home records. But I want to tell you, with the weather I've seen in New England and the way these guys handle that weather up there, anybody coming up to New England is psychologically going to have to get over that hurdle to play them.
It's been a long time since I've seen a team with 53 guys, and you count them all. You have to, because of all the guys that started. That everybody knows their role. That man knows his role. I mean, every single player on this team knows exactly what they're supposed to do and they don't complain about anything.
Would you throw it here, Paul?
No.
Antoine Smith hit and fights forward, but he'll be short of a first down. Jason Ferguson wouldn't let him go.
And the Jets take a timeout. This is an excellent timeout for the Jets. They had 2 left, and they took 1 here. They got the 2-minute warning. You know, when you talk about Pro Bowlers in this game, the guy, Ty Law, come on. You look at what he has done with Santana Moss. Here's the first one that could have been intercepted. Then he makes the tackle on Curtis Martin on the outside. That's the run play. Now he makes the interception on Santana Moss. That play looks like a replay.
Yeah, except he caught it. Only difference was first one he didn't get, second one he does.
Does he still have a bad ankle?
Well, it's better. I guess it's a little bit better. I'm sure if you talk to him, he'll say it's still bothering him a little bit.
All right, here's the situation. The Patriots, just short, will send on the punt team with 2:22 left, and the dangerous Santana Moss back at the 10. Low line drive kick. It takes a Jets bounce, but still will die inside the 20-yard line. 26-yard kick. Chad Pennington with 4 game-winning drives in the fourth quarter or overtime in his career. 2 this year. Can he make it 3?
He needs to be patient.
And he's very good at that. As a matter of fact, a couple of weeks ago against the Oakland Raiders, they were in exactly the same situation. Had to put a drive together, move it down the field. I think the big thing here is I don't believe he's going to be able to just throw those little slants to the outside. I believe he's going to have to throw the ball in the middle of the football field, and he better put something on it, or the DBs and the linebackers are going to jump it.
But we'll remember what Brett Favre always told us. All you have to do in the 2-minute drive is move the chain.
Move the sticks. And Rodney Harrison is back in the ball game.
And New England knows that too.
Draw play. Curtis Martin fights his way out near the 25. And the Jets will let it go down to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes left from the Meadowlands in a 5-point ball game. Scott Van Pelt and John Anderson entertaining themselves as best they can, standing by for SportsCenter. What a basketball game. Wake and North Carolina triple overtime this afternoon. The Bucks will not repeat in our Sunday NFL Blitz, but we are not done here. The Jets down by 5, 2 minutes to go. Pennington dumps it to Martin. And Curtis Martin got as much out of it as he could. First
move the chain.
Yeah, you don't want to rush, but you've got to move with some pace. That's the important thing. How long is it going to take Chad Pennington to get plays off? Got to get him off in about 20 seconds or less.
Pennington flush. Becht will get out of bounds.
We talked about Tom Brady knowing where everyone is. There you saw Chad Pennington looking out to his left and then coming all the way back over where he knew he had Anthony Becht waiting.
The numbers on Pennington and the thing that jumps out at you, the 4 picks. He has run for 2 touchdowns.
I'll tell you the thing that jumps out at me. When you look at that whole secondary of the New England Patriots, there's no place to throw the ball. They're going to give you that little 5-yard dump or 2-yard dump, whatever it is. But these guys play great defense.
Pennington with time. Sowell can't get it. The pass down around his ankle stops the clock with 1:25.
That's the second one he's dropped.
Yep. And he's been so good coming out of the backfield this year.
See, he's really taken the place of Richie Anderson.
Right.
Richie Anderson, to me, he's been such a great asset to the Dallas Cowboys, who have a chance to win this weekend, by the way, and clinch a playoff spot. But he's been such an asset to them as he was here as a receiver out of the backfield.
There's a guy sitting in Indianapolis playing to Peyton Manning saying, Chad, get the first down. You think he's not calling every one of these plays?
Third down for the Jets. Blitz coming. Pennington in the flat to Sowell. Turns it upfield. Fight waits for the first down and has it.
You know what? All right, you think, well, get out of bounds. Sol knew he couldn't. He couldn't get the first down if he went out of bounds. So what he did was pick up the first down. Yeah, you're going to lose about 8 or 10 seconds. You still have a timeout. You have plenty of time, and you're at the 45-yard line.
But you got to get going a little bit here. You've got to be a bit quicker.
Pennington throws for the sideline, incomplete. That was intended for Conway, but well out of his grasp. 50 seconds left.
The best way to get big chunks in a 2-minute situation is in the middle of the football field. And the New England Patriots just will not allow the Jets to put the ball there. They're making Chad Pennington dump it off underneath or making him throw to the sideline. They just refuse to let him go in the middle of the field.
Ty Law is hurt. Number 24, Ty Law, who had the interception.
4 picks, 4 sacks. They've done it all year long. That's 26 interceptions as a team. And now the Jets have to burn their last timeout.
See,
boy, that hurts.
It hurts bad because you threw the ball out of bounds and you accomplished one thing, and that's stopping the clock. Now all of a sudden, you wasted communication from upstairs to the quarterback. There's uncertainty. That's inexcusable by the coaches of the Jets as well as Chad Pennington, in my mind. You've got there are only a few plays you're going to be able to run in this situation. It's not like you have that huge myriad of things that's in front of you normally. I mean, you pick out 4 or 5 good routes and you live with them, and then you throw it to the guys that are open. New England's not bringing any pressure.
Our statistician, Mark Fredrickson, just handed us a note. And I got to agree with this. Wouldn't you be better off taking a 5-yard penalty than burning your last time out? I mean, 5 yards doesn't mean much at this point.
Wouldn't it be good to get a play in so you don't have to?
Well, that aside, sure.
And call 2 plays in a row.
Here they come.
Against the blitz, Pennington wide of Conway.
Well, Conway took it too deep. Conway did not read the blitz coming. Pennington did. Conway was on Ty Law going down the field. What Conway did is he ran the route too far. And here comes Rodney. He thought he had a bad ankle? I don't think so.
Does a smart thing. Instead of coming in with his hands high, comes in low and really forces Chad Pennington to throw the ball a little bit sooner than he wanted to.
Now 3rd and 10. Do you blitz again?
I think so, because you want to get it out of his hand.
At number 4, Pennington with time. Moss can't get it. It's intercepted. Picked off by Eugene Wilson. And that will do it.
You can't throw hangers in the middle of a football field. We saw one go through Ty Law's hand before where Curtis Conway made a great reception. This one was another hanger. He tried to get it up and down over the linebackers. Didn't happen for Herm Edwards, quarterback.
And Chad Pennington, one of the bright young quarterbacks in the game, has been picked off 5 times by that Patriot defense.
See how that thing just hangs in the air? That's got to be. See that ball? That ball's got way too much air. And Santana Moss got a little alligator arm going up for it, too.
It has way too much air, but there were 4 white shirts in the middle of that field.
And the New England Patriots will have won their 11th in a row. What a streak. The longest in the NFL since Jacksonville and Indianapolis did it 4 years ago.
And under 14 points again.
They know how to play cliffhangers.
Yeah, they do.
Our final score, New England wins it over the New York Jets. Their 11th straight. They go to 13-2. The final is 21-6. For Joe Theismann, Paul McGuire, Susie Culver, Roy Firestone, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick saying goodnight from the Meadowlands. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.